State Department cannot do that.
Inspired by the events of a heroic rescue.
I just want my husband back.
Gerald McCraney, Michael Gross.
The plane will be here.
Vestige of Honor, tonight. Will a man choose what he wants, or will he choose what's right?
The whole town tends to you.
The law, Lee Horsley's only choice. Guns of Paradise premieres Friday.
No, we're about to tee it up at Fulton County Stadium, where the Cowboys are hoping a babe will lead them to the promised land of the playoffs at the expense of the Atlanta Falcons. It's a big game for the Cowboys.
Well, it's the biggest game of Johnson's career. And the thing to look for today in the play of this game is we got a bad field because of Peach Bowl, bad weather. Today is the day to watch out which team has the best receivers that are route runners, not speed, because the ground, bad turf, neutralizes the speed. So look for the Cowboys tight end Novacek game.
All right, sir. We'll be back at halftime and throughout the afternoon with scores and highlights. Now, Jim Tram and Atlanta Cowboys and the Falcons.
Victory left after 29 years. A pall was cast over this once proud franchise. But today, a journeyman quarterback named Babe can lead them back to the playoffs. From Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, the Falcons host the Cowboys. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
I'm not an actor. I'm a career police officer, and I want everyone to know about the club, the most foolproof car theft prevention device I've ever seen. FBI statistics show that last year, 1 of every 43 cars was stolen or vandalized. The club could virtually eliminate auto theft. The tempered steel club locks onto your car's steering wheel in seconds, making it practically impossible to steal. It's highly visible, too. Car thieves see the club and keep on going. That's why over 600 police departments like mine endorse and recommend the club. If everyone used the club, we police could forget about auto theft and spend our time dealing with more serious crimes like murder, rape, and drugs. You can buy the club at all good stores that handle auto accessories for less than $60. Accept no imitations. I recommend the club.
Right now's the time to get it. A brand new 1991 Oldsmobile and more. And with $750 to $1,000 cash back on most models, now's the time to cash in on and more. See your gallon minimum today, but hurry. Time runs out January 7th.
Meet Hollywood's hottest kids on entertainment tonight.
Through the fog in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys can see clearly their road to the playoffs. Now, if the Cowboys beat the Falcons, they are the third and final wild card entrant from the NFC. If they lose, the Saints can take the berth by beating the Rams tomorrow night. If both teams win or both teams lose, the Cowboys are in against the Chicago Bears. Hello again, everybody. Jim Henderson along with Hank Stram. And Hank, today it all rests on the shoulders of Babe Laufenberg, well-traveled but seldom played.
No, it really doesn't, Jim. It rests on the shoulders of 45 guys, the Dallas Cowboys. They all have to win this game, not Babe. I think he's going to do a terrific job. Not many people think he can, but I think he will.
Well, how about the Cowboys? Can they win without Emmitt Smith having a big game?
Yes, there again. I think Emmitt Smith has to be an integral part of what they try to do. But again, somehow, some way, the Dallas Cowboys have to win this game. They're responsible for it as a team.
Well, the Cowboys returning the opening kickoff of this game, and here comes Babe Laufenberg. Making just his 7th start in the NFL, Brandon Hugh Babe Laufenberg in for Troy Aikman today. And here's what he'll have in front of him. The change is at right guard, where Kevin Gogan gets the start over John Giesick, who's injured. Emmitt Smith coming in with 903 yards on the ground. They will probably put the ball in his midsection early and often. Tommy Agee is the fullback in front of him, 1st and 10. From the 11, it's Smith right away. Brought down short of the 15-yard line by Scott Case, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week at safety for the Falcons. The Falcons will start a 4-3, not their traditional 3-4, in deference to the Cowboy running game. Rick Bryan checks in at right defensive end. The three linebackers now have Jesse Tuggle as the lone middle linebacker. Deion Sanders and Bobby Butler, who's made such a difference in this Atlanta secondary since coming on once more, replacing Charles Dimry. The Cowboys go with a pair of tight ends in Novacek and Steve Folsom on 2nd and 6 from the 15. Smith again up to about the 18-yard line.
That time, Jim, they went right into where all the folks were. It was an overshifted defense to the offensive right. It was overloaded, and instead of changing the play, they went right into the strength of the defense, and as a result, didn't get much yardage on the play. They should have gone left because that was the soft spot of the defense.
And speaking of soft spots, there are an awful lot of them on this playing field today. We'll continue to address that as the day goes on. They played the Peach Bowl here yesterday afternoon. A light rain has been falling this morning. 5 defensive backs check in for the Falcons on 3rd and 3 from the 18.
It looks like they're going to try to come. Here they come.
Offenberg is dropped at the 19, short of the first down.
Strong linebacker blitz, strong side meeting on a tight end side. And he took an awful lot of time. It looked like he might have tried to change the play. He had to jump up into the middle of the pocket right where all the people were, and as a result got tackled, couldn't make any yardage on the play.
So Mike Saxon comes on. The Falcons do an excellent job of coming after punters, but the Cowboys conversely do a very good job of protecting Saxon. The Falcons put a return on. It's a line drive that Sanders is going to field back at his 31. To the 39-yard line, Deion Sanders, a 50-yard effort by Saxon and an 8-yard return by Deion. Darrell Johnston downfield to make the hit. And on comes Hugh Millen, 27 years old, just his 3rd NFL start. A former draft choice of the Los Angeles Rams out of Washington. Up front, it's a veteran offensive line. Chris Hinton is a Pro Bowl alternate. Mike Rozier will have Tracy Johnson as his fullback in the starting lineup. Andre Rison is a starter in the Pro Bowl. Give it up right away to Keith Jones, who has just checked in. And the fullback out of Illinois, who was not supposed to start, on the carry. The Dallas defense has really come on. Dean Hamill has been through this situation before with the Redskins. They look to him for leadership. Jack Del Rio having an excellent year, and the secondary vastly improved. Isaac Holt, a big hitter on the left corner. Mike Rozier along with John Settle now in the backfield, and Millen hands off to Settle. One of his few carries on the season. He'd only carried 4 times coming into this game. He's the forgotten man of that Atlanta backfield.
Dean Hamill that time got good penetration, number 78, and made the tackle, helped with the tackle, but he got good penetration from the line of scrimmage.
There's a flag down at the 44. Our referee today is Jim Tunney. He'll walk off a 5-yarder against the Cowboys.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty. The distance makes it a first down, 1st and 10.
Not a flagrant face mask penalty, but the 5 yards enough to give the Falcons a first down. Rozier and Jones are in the backfield along with Hugh Millen. As it'll be 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of the Falcons. Rozier with the carry, and he bangs his way into Cowboy territory to the 47. Danny Noonan brings him down.
Bill Frelick that time, number 79, the right guard, and also Chris Hinton, coming off the ball on the right side, got a good push along with their outstanding center, Jamie Dukes, number 64. They got a good push that time, Jim. They really did.
This is the area of the field that might be the softest, right at midfield. And that's where the Falcons will operate on 2nd and 6 from the Cowboy 47. 2 wide receivers to the left. They'll keep it on the ground with Jones, and he won't get a thing. Vincent Smith, a former Falcon, getting the start at linebacker in place of Ken Norton, who's injured on the tackle.
And he's number 57 and comes across the line of scrimmage here. You'll see him make this tackle right there, number 57. A terrific job by Vincent Smith.
He played 3 games for the Falcons back in 1988. And that was a big blow to the Cowboys last week when they lost Norton, one of their leaders on defense, along with Troy Aikman. 3rd and 5 now from the 47.
And Dallas has 7 defensive backs in the game now.
Flag is down. Millen looking to throw. The play will be blown dead.
Ball start. 71, 5 yards. It's still 3rd down. 7-1.
That's Chris Hinton, the right tackle.
We'll see Hinton. There he is. He's moving. Once he's down in that position, he cannot move. And he did with the anticipation of getting a block on the defensive end.
Daniel Stubbs. 3rd and 10 from the 48 now of the Falcons. Just underway, 9:48 to play, and the clock running in the first quarter of a scoreless game. 4 wide receivers check in for the Falcons as they go to the red gun. Millen is hit and dropped, and it was Stubbs pouring through for his 8th sack.
Number 96, strong side blitz. Stubbs, 96, getting a blitz and getting penetration. And Millen did not see him coming at all from the backside. He was so concerned on trying to throw the ball to the left side that he didn't see Stubbs coming from the backside and got sacked on the play.
And Stubbs was raking hard at that football, but Millen was able to hold on to it. Scott Fulhag will punt it away. Back deep, Derek Shepard, a former Redskin, former Saint. Fulhag's hit it off the side of his foot. It's a short kick that comes down to the 22. Shepard swarmed over at the 30. Both of these teams have excellent special teams. That's a 35-yard punt and an 8-yard return.
And now this guy...
The Lexus LS400 is equipped with a very sophisticated suspension system, which makes it seem like it's riding on rails, even when it's not.
Premium choice.
The product. The proving grounds. The results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
A year is almost past. Wasn't there something you wanted to say but didn't? A feeling you never quite put into words? There's still time. On December 31st, AT&T would like you to enjoy saying it for less. All day, you get a special 32% off our daytime prices. Plus, the quality and service you expect. This year, make the last day the best day for less. December 31st, reach out and touch someone.
Neither team able to do much offensively through the first 6 minutes of this game, Hank. That's the way it might go for quite some time.
Well, Jimmy Johnson talking, you know what happens?
Tough yard. And Johnson was telling us yesterday they have to be patient on the ground.
Emmitt Smith running to his left with the ball in his left arm. Four-man line. Look at the penetration. Look at Gann coming up across there. Look at all those black shirts. You talk about his hit, hustle, react, gang tackle, pursue. That's the personality of this Atlanta Falcon team. They were all there as a reception committee for Smith.
After a 1-yard gain, it's 2nd and 9, and Smith will try again, this time to the left. A little bit better running room there, and he's up to about the 35-yard line. Robert Lyles in on the tackle, the former Houston Oiler, one of a few that Jerry Glanville's brought here.
And I think the important thing, especially in the middle of the field, I think you're better off to run straight ahead and then veer to openings as you see them. But to try to run sideways in this soup is very difficult.
Smith has carried 4 times for 12 yards. The Cowboys are 5-0 when he's carried the ball 20 or more times. Here comes the blitz on Laufenberg. He reads it, and he's got Martin. Laufenberg and Martin for 25 yards into the Falcon territory inside the 40.
The Babe really did a good job of anticipating the blitz. Here comes a safety blitz right up the middle. He's picked up by Smith, which is excellent. The receiver Martin breaks right into the middle area where the safety was vacated that area and hit him for a big play.
Laufenberg directs traffic, throws it downfield, and the catch is made by Martin again at the 25-yard line of the Falcons. Bobby Butler on the coverage. Laufenberg and the Cowboys go with a hurry-up offense.
And that time they caught him in his own defense. But the great thing about Laufenberg, you know, when you talk to him, he's got a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and he understands what has to be done here this afternoon.
Making his 7th NFL start. 1st and 10 from the 25. On the delay, Smith. Slipping a couple of tackles. He's down to the 23 before Tim Green and Jesse Tuggle combine on the stop.
That was a trap play that time, Jim. The right guard pulling to his left and trapping, and Smith delayed long enough for the block to be made and then jumped into the cavity and got as much out of that play as they possibly could.
You?
Yeah, me.
Russ, you have no eye for color.
I'm picking out the paint. I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You can do it, Russ. This True Test custom color system makes it easy to match colors, just like a decorator.
Admit it, Ellen. I picked out the perfect colors.
Yes, but who would ever believe it?
You can do it with True Value hardware stores.
I always find myself, after the first of the year, making a resolution to trim down a little bit. It's a necessity.
Michael Gross makes the Healthy Choice resolution.
Healthy Choice makes that possible.
Healthy Choice dinners are more than low-calorie. They're low in fat, sodium, and cholesterol. A delicious and intelligent way to eat healthy.
So I exercise a little more after Christmas. Eat a little better right after Christmas. So I can get through to St. Patrick's Day.
Listen to your heart. Make the Healthy Choice.
Watch Nate Newton, number 61, pulling from the right side. Look at the block. Look at that beautiful block on Rady, number 59. He really smashes him to the turf, and he got a stinger, I think, on the shoulder. I don't think it's anything serious, but he really laid a block on him.
John Rady, who was sidelined earlier in this season with a hip pointer, and he took a helmet to the hip against New Orleans. As you say, it looks like he can return. For the moment, he'll be replaced by Ken Tippins, number 52, a former Cowboy. 2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line of the Falcons. First threat of the day for either team. Irvin in motion. Smith. Hit and dragged down from behind. Torrey Epps was in there. Rick Bryan was there as well.
Rick Bryant came right down the line of scrimmage, smashed right into the cavity, and got the play. Good penetration by Bryant, former #1 draft choice from the University of Oklahoma.
And Jerry Glanville was telling us yesterday he had perhaps his finest game of his entire career that he's seen him play last week in the victory over the Rams when he had 5 solo tackles. 3rd and 8 now from the 23. 5 defensive backs in the game for the Falcons. Gerald Johnston is the lone running back behind Laufenberg.
Looks like they're coming again.
Dave's going to float it up, far sideline, incomplete. Intended over there for Alexander Wright. Bobby Butler on the coverage, and a flag down on the left side of the field around the 16.
Linebacker on the left side was blitzing. The right linebacker blitzing on the play.
And it appears that it will go against the Falcons.
Holding, 40. Defense, 5 yards, first down.
That's the strong safety Brian Jordan caught holding. Falcons the most penalized team in the league. And that's a costly one that carries with it a first down. At the 18-yard line of Atlanta. 5:22 to play first quarter. Cowboys going to the playoffs with a win and threatening here to put the first points of this game on the board. Smith again slipping and sliding, falling after a very short gain, if any.
From the end zone here now, watch behind the offense. Look at the bad footing. Smith going to his right. And now he tries, see what happens there. He tries to plant on the left foot, on the inside foot. And watch, he should be planting on the right foot, but instead he's planting on the left foot, and it doesn't hold. And he slips and slides and doesn't make any yardage on the play.
Smith, who came into this game with 903 rushing yards. Novacek and Folsom in the game. 2 tight ends now for the Cowboys. 2nd and 10 from the 18, and contact up front. Looked like Torrey Epps.
We'll see Torrey Epps right in the middle of your screen, number 74. Not even close. He gets penetration. The only thing about that is he didn't hit anybody when he penetrated. If you're going to get penalized for 5 yards, you might as well hit somebody.
He's hit enough folks this season to draw some attention for possible rookie honors on defense. 8th-round draft choice out of Memphis State. He's been a big surprise. Nothing new for the Falcons to be penalized, but as Mike Ken said yesterday, we have to play smarter football. They're aggressive. Jerry Glanville doesn't mind the penalties that come with aggression, but not through stupid play. Melvin Martin is split out wide to the right. 2 tight ends remain in there. For the Cowboys on 2nd and 5 from the 13. Pitch it to Smith. Drop for a loss. Jesse Tuggle along with John Rady.
Here we saw, watch what happens here, coming right at us here. Look at the tackle from the backside, a good pursuit. And look at Scott Case come in there late. Tuggle, Jesse Tuggle, number 58, comes in and makes the tackle. Good pursuit on the part of the Atlanta Falcons. Terrific.
Well, Smith said the magic number is 20. He likes the ball about 20 times a game. He's gotten it 8 already, but for only 11 yards. This will be 3rd and 8 from the 16. Laufenberg thrown to them by Ken Willis. One of 3 rookie kickers in the league this year.
And he didn't kick good in the pregame warm-up. He was concerned about the mud and the slop. He had to change cleats. I think he's got 3/4-inch cleats on his left foot.
He pushed it out to the right. So Willis misfires, and we continue to have a scoreless game in Atlanta.
After years of intense work, Lexus is ready to celebrate. Because even at the equivalent of 145 miles per hour, The Lexus LS400 is designed to stir the soul, and not much else.
If you want to do more than one thing at the same time, don't expect an ordinary computer to get the jobs done. But an IBM PS2 with microchannel can crunch numbers, search files, share information, revise graphics all at once. With microchannel, a PS2 can work harder than ordinary computers, so you can get many things done at the same time without going to pieces. To be more productive, how are you going to do it? PS2 it.
Genuine draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place. All my dreams never go fast.
When you're supposed to be dead, you can do anything. The Exile premieres Thursday, January 24th on CBS late night. It's too hot to sleep.
Torrey Epps, number 74, who was in a position over the right guard. He gets good penetration, gets a good push, gets his hands up, and I think that had a little bit to do with the concentration of the kicker, and he kicked a little bit right, although in pregame warm-ups, he consistently kicked the ball right, which means he wasn't following through and didn't follow through like he should have on the last kick.
Well, he was 18 out of 19 inside the 50 before that led the NFL in accuracy. And this fires, and the Falcons try to take advantage of it, throwing to Jones right away on first down. Well, don't forget all the action that we've got coming up for you on the college football trail. Bowl time with the John Hancock Bowl at El Paso. USC taking on Michigan State. And then don't forget on New Year's Day, this promises to be a dandy, the Texas Longhorns against the Miami Hurricanes. Jerry Glanville's been going through some tough times personally. We'll try to address those as the game wears on. Right now it's 2nd and 4 from the 26 of Atlanta. Rising in motion. Rozier finds the going sticky as he picks up a couple.
And for man coverage that time, they were very aggressive and got good penetration. Watch the penetration on the part of the left side of the line here. Look at the middle linebacker, Smith, 57, blitzing on the play. They were concerned about Smith, but so far he's replacing Norton, but so far he's played extremely well.
James Washington mopped up on the tackle, the strong safety. 3rd and 4 for Millen and the Falcons from his 26. And he is dropped and sacked back at the 20. Jimmy Jones, the former Hurricane, with the 2nd sack of this game for the Cowboys.
That time they had a 3-man line with 7 defensive backs. Jones, 97. Look at the penetration. He starts outside and comes back inside and makes the sack. He's a very good pass rusher. And there you see him get the penetration and get the sack.
Villains look very uncomfortable in the pocket so far. Bullhag will punt it away. Derek Shepard back at his 34. A dandy by Bullhag. Shepard from his 27. Slammed down at the 37. A 52-yard punt and a 10-yard return. 1:06 to play. First quarter, scoreless game in Atlanta.
When you rent from Hertz in Florida, you get more than a great car at a great rate. The real bargain is the company behind the car. Because whatever it takes to make your vacation go smoothly, Hertz is there to make it happen. From emergency road service that's as close as a phone to free unlimited mileage, wherever you roam. Next time you're in Florida, wouldn't you feel better with Hertz behind you?
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
I have a headache. I have a bad headache. I can't think. I can't concentrate.
I feel pain.
Today, Michael Farbstein is trying extra-strength Tylenol gel caps. For pain like his, why take aspirin or ibuprofen when nothing works better than Tylenol gel caps?
My headache is 100% gone. I feel great. I can think. I can concentrate. I can do what I have to do. Tylenol gel caps really did the job.
Tylenol gel caps, only from Tylenol. For everyday pain, nothing works better.
The power of a resource essential to all. At GTE, we provide that power. With telephone systems and services central to the life of a community. The well-being of families. The needs of every business. Great or small. GTE Telephone Services. We give you the power to flourish in any environment. At GTE, the power is on.
Falcons' effort doesn't look or sound like a 4-11 football team.
Yeah, the sound of the hitting. That's terrific gang tackling, good hitting. Everybody using those shoulder pads, that's what it's all about. A lot of times you see a lot of pushing and shoving, but you don't see it here.
Well, Dallas has been able to move downfield with the help of some penalties, but a 34-yard field goal attempt went awry. Atlanta's been able to do nothing offensively with 1:06 to play in the first quarter. Bootleg for Laufenberg. Babe throws it up and throws it away to the Dallas bench. Being chased by Mike Gann, he throws it away. And that's the mark of a veteran quarterback.
And he hit the only guy that was open, too, the guy in the white shirt on the sideline. In his own defense that time, but he was smart enough and had enough poise to make sure he didn't throw the ball into traffic and get an interception. He threw it out of bounds, which is a good move on the part of the quarterback, Dave Laufenberg.
Well, he's been in 4 NFL cities, but primarily as a spectator with the Redskins, the Saints, the Chargers, and now the Cowboys. 2nd and 10 from the 36 of Dallas. Laufenberg resets his backs and takes too long to do so. We're at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with about a minute left in the first quarter. Jim Henderson along with Hank Stram. A game that's most meaningful for the Cowboys. If they win it, they're the final wild card team in the NFC, and they will take on the Chicago Bears next weekend. We expected to see the offense have it tough, considering the quarterbacking and the field conditions, and it's been that way through the first quarter.
I think they have to start throwing the ball a little bit more on 1st and 10, especially when they get out of the soup here and out of the quicksand.
This is 2nd and 15. Laufenberg will throw up to the 36-yard line to Tommy Agee, the fullback.
5 defensive backs again, another weak side blitz.
Agee out of Auburn, and the Tigers yesterday winning in the Peach Bowl on this very same field against Indiana. We've got 34 seconds and the clock running here in the first quarter. Skies look. Brian Jordan's interception ends the first quarter for the Atlanta Falcons, and they'll have the ball when we return in a scoreless game after 15 minutes of football at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Pop the corks and kiss 1990 goodbye. Michigan State battles USC in the John Hancock Bowl New Year's Eve Day on CBS Sports.
When I was growing up, I had parents that were there for me, to give me that sense of confidence we all need. That's what these big brothers and big sisters are giving to these young people. I'm Troy Aikman, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and I know that those same qualities are what each of these young people need to win against the tough challenges that they have to face every day in our modern society. Today I'm at an outing with the youngsters from the Big Brothers and Sisters programs here in Dallas. As a United Way volunteer, I try to teach them how to cope with the fast-moving society that they are growing up in. Now I want you to meet a very special United Way volunteer who's with me today. She's my mom.
Troy needed guidance and self-confidence just as all our children do. When you give to United Way, you're showing you care.
When you give to United Way, you bring out the best in them. And United Way, it brings out the best in all of us. Right, guys?
Yeah!
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. GTE, at GTE the power is on. And by Diet Pepsi, the right one.
Darian Connor lips off the field. He's the linebacker who was shaken up on the return by Brian Jordan of the interception.
And he was blitzing on the play, 56, along with Butler, number 23. Look at him come in there on the outside and make the hit. And he throws the ball up for grabs. Now Atlanta has possession, 1st and 10.
First turnover of this game, first play of the second quarter. Handoff, Rozier, big hole. Mike Rozier to the 31-yard line of the Cowboys.
And here again, here's a good shot of the offense coming off the ball, straight ahead, getting a good push, creating a crack. And he cuts back and makes good yardage on the play.
Good block by John Scully, the veteran in there at right guard momentarily. A pickup of 9. It's 2nd and 1 from the 32 of Dallas. Rising in motion. Rozier again sliding down, trying to get up on his feet. Swarmed over and stopped by 4 Cowboys. Daniel Stubbs, the first one in on the tackle.
Here again, you know, it's so important to make sure in the pregame warm-up that you get the right kind of footing, right kind of cleats in your shoes. Now look at the way he starts to stop, and look at the way he slid and falls down to the ground, but had no chance whatsoever to plant the outside foot and cut, because probably he's got soccer shoes on and the cleats aren't long enough in this kind of terrain.
Well, you can see both teams keeping it on the ground as they intended to. Walkenberg has had a little success. Direct snap goes to Rozier on 3rd down and 2 from the 33. And he stopped short, it would appear.
Here's the play again. And there's Rozier dancing, trying to tiptoe through the tulip, so to speak, try to get a gap, try to get some kind of running room. No chance whatsoever, especially with the turf the way it is.
Didn't fool Jimmy Jones, the 3rd-round draft choice out of Miami. He played behind Cortez Kennedy and Russell Maryland down there with the Hurricanes. And the Falcons will go for it with an early gamble on 4th and 3 from the 34-yard line.
They got a one-on-one on the right side. They ought to be able to do some business if they can pass block. Let's see what they do here.
Cowboys are coming. Millen's throwing. And it is taken in by Haynes on the far sideline. Michael Haynes right at the stick.
That was the place to go. It was a good read, 1-for-1 coverage. We had a safety blitz and a weak side blitz. And anytime you get that, well, you know you have man-for-man coverage. It was single on that side, and he got the ball out there nicely for a nice game.
And an all-important spot here for Jimmy Johnson, who wants a close-up look at it. As you try to look through a maze of arms and legs. It is a 1st down, so the Falcons gamble, and it pays off as Millen connects. Well, maybe that's the mark of a team that's 4-11. They have nothing to lose. Why not go for it there?
Yeah, that's right. You have to. You have to play that kind of football. He teaches aggressive football. You know, go after him. Go get him. Sick him football. And they sicked him that time on the 4th down situation.
So with 12:27 to play in the second quarter of a scoreless game, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Cowboys. Millen will throw once more. Again, it's on the far sideline, this time to Andre Rison, who brings it in after a short gain. Well, they're working those sidelines like you mentioned, Hank.
Well, you know, the thing that's happening, the Dallas Cowboys play a little bit like a four-deep defensive situation with their four defensive backs, and as a result, and then they react to what the pattern is. As a result, you have to have a good cushion to do that, and as a result, you ought to be able to throw in front of the defensive backs, which they are doing very successfully right now. Here they got another good shot on the strong side. They ought to keep pumping it up on that side until they stop it.
They'll run it with Rozier in that direction this time, and he is dropped for a loss of about a yard on the play. Dean Hamill was there, along with Vincent Smith.
Here we see it going to the right side. Smith does a good job. Watch 57. Makes him cut inside, and Hamill comes from the inside with good pursuit and makes the play. They were very concerned about Smith replacing Norton, but so far he's done an outstanding job of securing the run, reacting, responding especially well to what he sees.
Tony Tolbert, too, has made a difference early. 3rd and 6 from the 26. Millen could have run it, will throw it, incomplete. Incomplete down at the 12-yard line, intended for Floyd Dixon. Millen had some room to take it upfield if he wanted to.
The thing about this play was the receivers downfield were covered extremely well. He had no place to throw the football. He was looking to throw it. Look at downfield. Everybody is faded. Everybody is handling good shape. As a result, why he has to try to hold the ball a little longer than he should have and got in trouble on the play.
So Greg Davis comes on to attempt a 44-yard field goal for the first points of this game. Fulhag holds it. And this, too, is left out wide to the right. So we are still scoreless in the second quarter in Atlanta.
It's Chevrolet Geo winter time, where everyone can win with the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America.
Sir, what's your favorite color?
Medium Quasar Blue Metallic.
Good guess.
You can win with cash back or low financing on any Geo. Tracker, Storm, Prism.
Miss, come here often?
I've never even bought a new car before.
Well, then you can win with a first-time buyer bonus on any Geo.
I love this Metro.
I can tell.
Get to know Geo during wintertime at your Chevy Geo dealer.
Mr. Three-point shooter used to miss 3 points on his face till I got him to shave with a slim twin.
In front of a sellout crowd in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, points have been hard to come by with 10:58 to play in the second quarter.
You talk about some hitting and socking and rocking out here. The defenses are doing a terrific job.
Well, Greg Davis has misfired from 44 yards. Ken Willis from 34, both on that end of the field. Davis told me before the game that these are the worst conditions in Atlanta that he has ever kicked under.
Well, he was worried about it, and that's why he's not kicking good. I talked to him, too, before the game, and definitely he was not following through like he should have. And anytime you don't follow through, the ball's going to go right. You're not going to hook a ball when you don't follow through. Both kickers did exactly the same thing they did in the pregame warm-up.
Ken Willis, who's been very accurate for the Cowboys, he strides pretty closely straight into the ball. And I asked him before the game, I said, will that make a difference? Is that to your benefit on a field that's as sloppy as this? And he said, philosophically, yes. Mentally, no.
You kick the ball with your foot, not with philosophy.
1st and 10 for Babe Laufenberg and the Cowboys with 10:45 to play, quarter number 2. We're scoreless in Atlanta. Laufenberg looking to throw on first down.
Whoa, that's the backside.
Incomplete. He gets it away off the fingertips of his tight end, Novacek. Tim Green was bearing down on him.
Here's a good illustration of a quarterback not seeing the pressure, but feeling it from the backside. Now watch this. Look at this. Look at Tim Green, 99, in hot pursuit. He feels it, and he gets rid of the ball and avoids the sack on the play.
Laufenberg in college moved around literally and figuratively. He was apt to roll out when he was at Indiana.
Well, he had to move around to let the grass grow.
He wishes there were some grass on this field here today. 2nd and 10 now from the 27 of Dallas.
Coming this way if they run. Yep.
Offenberg throws, and that's incomplete. Bouncing off the fingertips of Emmitt Smith, who came into this game with 23 receptions.
Played a zone that time, 5 defensive backs. And watch again, watch another slip. Here he comes. Try to stop. Try to stop to catch the ball. Feet slipped underneath, and off he goes on the field. He's limping a little bit. Might have turned an ankle or something on the play.
What a huge loss his would be. Offenberg's hit just 1 of his last 6 passing attempts. This is 3rd and 10 from his 27.
6 defensive backs again. Whoa!
A big hit on Kelvin Martin, who pays the price, making the reception at the 32, well short of the first down.
That was an all-out blitz. Scott Case, number 25, is playing man for man. He's spying. Look at this. He comes up after the ball is caught. Look at the hit he makes on Martin. All-out blitz. Everybody coming.
Looked like that was Elbert Shelley coming with some pressure. Mike Saxon to punt it away.
I think they have to go after these kickers. They can't just let them sit back there and kick all afternoon without any pressure.
Unless he kicks like that.
Chevrolet Geo wintertime, where everyone can win with the trucks more people are switching to. Sir, how many doors does this 4-door Chevy S10 Blazer have? 4. Close enough. You can win with cashback or low financing. And what's your favorite pickup?
Chevy half-ton.
It's America's favorite, too. And you can win with cashback on Chevy pickups, Astros, Suburbans.
Wrap it up. I'll take it.
You got it. Better get trucking to your Chevy Geo dealer during wintertime.
Well, it's been feast and famine for Mike Saxon. He hit a 50-yarder earlier. This one is 46 yards short of that.
And it really didn't look like it was a bad drop. It looked like he took his eye off the ball momentarily, probably, but he didn't have a bad drop. And it's surprising that he would kick a ball that badly with the kind of a drop he had.
Well, the pressure's definitely on the Cowboys. They've made the early mistakes, but the Falcons haven't been able to capitalize. Jordan had that interception, and the Falcons missed the field goal, and now they've got it at the 37. Millen slips, falls, ball's loose. Dean Hamill has it for the Cowboys.
They got to look at that. You know, the ground can't cause a fumble. I don't know whether that was the reason for it or not, but let's take a look at it again. Yep.
Well, he hadn't been touched, so he could have gotten up and run.
There again, he tried to stop and cut back, and his feet went right underneath.
Tony Tolbert had a free shot on Millen, who had not been touched and didn't look like he was going to get up and run.
Watch Millen run into his left now. He stops, and look at his feet. Like he's got ice skates on. He slides.
Is being reviewed.
I don't know. I'm not sure that ground didn't create the fumble. Here he is. He stops again, hits the ground. But I think what happened, the ball hit, but the knees didn't hit. So as a result, if that was the case, why it is a fumble. If his knees hit first, then it was a fumble.
Well, I think this is going to be...
There he is. He slides again.
I'll be surprised if they overturn this one.
Yeah, I will too, because I think what happened was that the ball hit the ground, but his knee...
Upon review, the play stands. First down. 1st and 10.
And he had never been touched. He'd never been forced to the ground.
That's right. But
well, don't forget to stay tuned here on CBS. We've got a big game coming up for you. Detroit against Seattle. Detroit with Barry Sanders going after that NFL rushing title, and it's a huge game for the Seahawks as they can get a wild card berth by winning if the Bengals lose to Cleveland or if Pittsburgh beats Houston at Houston later tonight. So the Cowboys, after the turnover, keep it on the ground and don't move an inch.
Talk about going through a thrashing machine. Those backs, that's exactly what they're doing here this afternoon. That defense is tough.
Well, the Falcons have done it all year long. As you can see, 3rd in the NFL in stopping the run. Conversely, they are 28th against the pass, and Jerry Glanville has said this season, we force you right into our weakness. But the Cowboys, with Babe Laufenberg at quarterback, have been unable to pass. Here's Emmitt Smith back in the ball game after earlier straining an ankle. He gets a couple of tough ones.
Well, he looked like there was a little gap there, and then all of a sudden he cut to his left, and it looked like he hit a wall and bounced right back there and made about 2 yards on the play. Look at this. Watch him now. He sees a little cavity, and all of a sudden, watch this. He hits the wall. And the other thing that happened where they're in bump and run, he was trying to throw the ball to the receiver on the left side, but it was bump and run. The receiver not got off the ball. Look at Tuggle come right up the middle and make the blitz. It was an all-out blitz. There he is, getting sacked again. He had no chance whatsoever on the play, especially because the right cornerback, Sanders, did a good job of holding up the receiver, and he couldn't get down the field on the one-on-one situation.
Saxon trying to make amends for a 4-yard effort. This is another poor one, but will bounce into the hands of Sanders. Dropped immediately back at his 16. Brought down by Howard. And we continue to be scoreless at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Just a little holiday reminder. Keep your edge with Sharps from Miller. The breakthrough non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste.
Chevy's got this truck, S10EL. More mileage than the leading import for less money. I said that's more for less. I told Chevy if you tell everybody about it on television, everybody's going to want to do it. The imports will see it. They'll say, hey, we want to do that too. Chevy will say, nope, can't. More for less. That's ours. Then the government will say, maybe we could give the people more for... Nah, more for less. What a concept. Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat of America.
It's the same thing every Saturday. He puts on those old blue jeans and goes out with that old dog. And he's gone all day. He says he's going to bring back dinner. But all he ever brings back is that old dog.
Here's to old dogs, Saturday mornings, and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
She's a hot sportscaster.
What was that? Just a few questions I jotted down.
He's not.
Can I have one? No.
Good Sports premieres January 10th.
Well, the NFC playoff picture can be fully completed with a Dallas victory here today, but in the AFC, there are still some folks that are battling to get into it. You see those who are in and those who might be. 4 racing for the final 2 spots.
Look, and Pittsburgh is really playing good, aren't they?
They are. They've got that tough defense. Your Chiefs looked awfully tough yesterday, too, didn't they?
I thought they were terrific. They really did a terrific job on the Chicago Bears, both offensively and defensively. And really, of course, with the kicking they have, it's outstanding.
Here's Keith Jones as the Falcons start from their own 18. This is their worst field position of the day. With just less than 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Jim Jeffcoat, the veteran who's playing with a compound fracture, a finger on his right hand, in on the stop, number 77.
You know, the way this game is going, why I think it's going to be very important for the specialty teams and the defense to do something outstanding and get an opportunity for the offense to play in a shorter field, because they're having a hard time traveling a long way on this turf.
2nd and 8 from the 20. Millen throws. It's complete for a short gain up to Michael Haynes around the 24-yard line. What about Millen's mechanics?
Well, he's not bad mechanically, very frankly. You know, he looks a little frail back there, very frankly. But he's got good size at 6'5". Talking to him yesterday, he has a good understanding of what he has to do. He knows what his shortcomings are and what the system is all about. I was impressed with his overall demeanor yesterday. And if he gets the kind of pass protection he needs, both quarterbacks, I think they'll be able to do a good job here this afternoon.
3rd and 4 from the 24. Dumping it off for Rozier. He breaks a tackle or two, but he is short of the first down around the 26-yard line.
Yeah, he's escaping from the pocket to his right side. Look at the containment on the defense. Excellent. And again, I think it was Washington that came up there, wasn't it?
I believe Bill Bates was in on that stop, too.
Yeah, they were both in on the play, but it was good containment on the part of the Cowboy defense.
Millen is 5 out of 6, but just for 22 yards, throwing short. Scott Fulhag will have to punt it away as the Falcons were 2 yards short. Another nice effort by Fulhag to Shepard from his 25. Dropped short of the 35 as 2 flags go down. The center guy Bingham was down there covering that punt, which traveled 48 yards. Shepard brought it back 9. Jim Tunney will sort out the flags for us.
I still think they have to rush that kicker, even though we had a bad kick. I think you have to rush him occasionally to keep him off balance and make him wonder, are they coming? Are they not coming? What are they going to do? You just can't let the guy stand back there with all the time in the world like he's sitting in a rocking chair back there and kick the ball.
Illegal block by the Cowboys will put Laufenberg and his teammates.
Illegal block on the return, number 50-50, 10 yards, first down, 10.
Back to their 21-yard line when we return.
It could be a fight for the national championship, the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Giants quarterback Phil Simms can always look to tight end Mark Bavaro for the key reception. Both are uncompromising competitors who are at their best in clutch situations. Simms and Bavaro are the toughest tandem in the league, overcoming injuries to battle back to all-pro status. As individuals, Phil Simms and Mark Bavaro are outstanding performers. Together as teammates, they make the Giants the best they can be.
The Chevy Corsica has better aerodynamics than a Porsche 928 and a gas-charged independent front suspension, which helps you hold the road. Corsica also has a new user-friendly interior.
which helps you hold the most important things. It's a very comforting way more people are winning with.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
And now it's easy to win with an efficient new Chevy Corsica.
Here's Troy Aikman standing on the sideline. I had occasion to talk to him on the field before the game, talked about his shoulder. He said without a doubt there would be no chance whatsoever for him to come back again this year, but he's looking forward to next season already with great anticipation, with the hope that he's going to be fully healed and it will not be a problem. And I think all the doctors confirm that kind of an attitude.
The Cowboys moved it pretty well early, but they haven't had a first down now since 4 minutes were left in quarter number 1. We have 5:50 remaining in quarter number 2, scoreless. Throwing on first down, and it's incomplete for Kelvin Martin.
Laufenberg that time had a good one-on-one situation and threw it too quickly. You know, yesterday we talked to him and I asked him why he wore number 15. He said, well, first of all, I wanted 12, but that was Roger Staubach. Then I thought, well, I'd take 17, but that belonged to Don Meredith. Then I thought, well, I'll take 7, and that was Craig Morton. So then I said, well, listen, give me any number that somebody hasn't used before. And they said, we'll give you 15, and he said, that's fine. I'll take it.
Flags down as Smith runs right and out of bounds. Jesse Tuggle forces him out. Falcons really crowding that line of scrimmage. They can't wait to get off that ball.
You know, I would think that they can't continue to throw from the pocket. They have to move the pocket some to keep the defense guessing as to where the throwing area is going to be. He's throwing everything from the pocket. They're teeing off on him, and especially a lot of middle blitzes. The one way you escape the middle blitz is to roll out right or left.
4 penalties on the Falcons for 20 yards, 3 of those 4 against their defense. 2nd and 5 after the penalty at the 26 of Dallas. Irvin in motion. Give it off straight ahead and a short gain short of the 30-yard line. It looked like Tommy Agee on the carry. We'll see as they unpile. No, it was Emmitt Smith.
Boy, that's murder. That is murder.
Well, it's strength against strength. The running game of the Cowboys against the defense against the run.
Well, Jimmy Johnson said when we talked to him yesterday, he said, we're going to run the ball. We got to run. See, look at New England, 10-10.
On 3rd down now with 2 to go from the 29. They'll pitch it off to Smith. And he is stopped well short.
Bryant, number 77, got penetration. What a great play. It looked like it was going to be successful. I thought they were going to be able to do some business. That was the place to run, but they did not handle Bryant, number 77. He got penetration. The school's out. Now they got to punt again.
Emmitt Smith bought 126 tickets for his family and friends to come up from Pensacola. So far, they haven't seen him do a thing. Mike Saxon to punt it away once more. To Deion Sanders. This one he's nailed. Sanders from the 11. He's exciting beyond his own 20 and up close to the 21. 62-yard punt, a 10-yard return.
There he is. Watch him field this ball just like an outfielder. Look at, he played for the Yankees. Catches it up there nice and high. That's where you're supposed to catch a punt return, right above the numbers. He did that, but he's got terrific hands. And notice he doesn't use his body at all to make the catch. It's all hands.
Yeah, the Braves, Blue Jays, and White Sox are interested in him still as a baseball player. Don't forget the John Hancock Bowl coming up. That's tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern right here on CBS. And the big one. National championship implications in the outcome of the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic. That, of course, on New Year's Day. Dillon looking to throw on first down behind Risen and incomplete at the 27. Risen was held without a catch last week, first time in his career.
Here's Laufenberg on the phone, looking for some help. an SOS going up. You know, he said a funny thing the other day. He's talking to the coaches, probably David Shula up on the press box, trying to get some information. I don't know. He might be asking for Roger Staubach. I don't know.
2nd and 10 from the 21. Dixon in motion. Blown assignment, and Millen is dropped by Daniel Stubbs. 4th sack of the day for the Cowboys. Stubbs has had a couple of them, but there is a flag down, and it will go against Dallas.
Roughing the passer. Well, I think what happens is, I think anytime that you hit the quarterback in the head, I think that's what the problem was. He got him above the shoulder pads, was trying to give him a little massage up above the shoulder pads on the head, and got called for roughing the quarterback.
And the Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson have to be saying, why aren't these calls made a week earlier?
Defense majored the end of the run, 1st down.
Call it on us. Call it on some other folks like the Eagles. Johnson's irate on the far sideline.
Not only that, he's really upset.
Yes, he is. 1st and 10 up at the 31 after the penalty. Dixon in motion. Rozier with a nice run up to the 37. Vincent Smith trips him up.
He got a good push on the right side again. Looked like Freilich hitting, getting a good push. Look at him, see the gap, see the cavity. Picks up speed, but he ran through there looking like he was expecting to get hit any moment, and he did.
He's setting a record here today, having started and played in 17 games this season. Keith Jones gets the call. Rozier began the year with the Oilers, played 4 with them, missed their bye week, came here and had missed the Falcons bye week. This is his 13th game with the Falcons.
You notice the way the backs are starting to run. They're running with their head down, not up. They know they're going to get hit. They're trying to protect the ball, make sure they get as much push as they possibly can. They're not going to be fancy. They don't want to lose the ball in this situation. So as a result, they're just plowing straight ahead with the head down and getting as much out of the straight ahead play as they possibly can.
Look at Johnson. He's still steamed over that call on Stubbs. He'll have a chance to cool off during the 2-minute warning. Just 2 minutes remaining in half number 1. We continue to be scoreless, the Cowboys and the Falcons.
Don't care about movie stars who live in Hollywood. Don't like the attitude, don't think I ever could. Don't want the good taste, I know I taste good. While the best thing though is so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Hey, give me a Dr. Pepper. We want it. Hey, Dr. Pepper. Dr. Order. The taste of stranger order. We love it.
Every day that goes by, one of the highest mileage, lowest price, and the best-selling of all V6 coupes is Chevy Beretta. Day by day, more people are winning with.
The heartbeat of America.
And now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
This isn't what you think. It's a new kind of cold relief. Introducing fast-acting, better-tasting Tylenol Cold Effervescent. Strong, non-aspirin cold relief from Tylenol. The only effervescent cold medicine that speeds 2 cold medicines to your sneezing and congestion, while it sends Tylenol pain reliever to your aching body. New orange-flavored Tylenol Cold Effervescent, part of Tylenol's complete cold relief line. Nobody cares for your cold like Tylenol Cold.
Hank, a bad field, 2 bad offenses. I guess we shouldn't be too surprised we've had no scoring.
It's a taffy pull. It's really been a taffy pull, and I think both teams are trying desperately not to give the game away, not to lose the game. That's what happened. They're trying to win the game by not making a mistake and giving up field position, playing on the shorter field than the other, and that's exactly the way they're playing the game.
There have been some mistakes, but neither team's been able to capitalize. Millen on third down. Finds Dixon. Floyd Dixon into Falcon territory to about the 47. Make that the Cowboys 47. "15-yard pickup for the Falcons. 1st and 10. The line of scrimmage is the Dallas 46. Millen again will throw, and this time incomplete for Andre Rison.
You know, we just saw Dixon catch a pass on third down receiving. Dixon is the Falcon possession receiver on third down. He has caught 13 passes on third down, 11 of which have been converted to first down. Pretty strong.
Cowboys. Millen well protected, drills Rison this time. Tackles made by Robert Williams.
And they had 7 defensive backs that time. And Millen really stood in the pocket well that time. Somebody ran right by his face. He didn't pay any attention to it at all.
Again, he throws for the sideline, but Sean Collins make that. George Thomas makes the catch out of bounds. Thomas and Millen hooked up on the first play of the game last week against the Rams for 53 yards.
Yeah, they like him. They like Thomas very much. He's got outstanding speed, and they think he's going to be a terrific player in the future.
Tony Tolbert comes out for the Cowboys on 2nd and 10 from the 35 of Dallas. Millen in the red gun offense. Cowboys blitz. Rison. Andre Rison to the Cowboys 16.
7 defensive backs, a blitz. Look at him stand in the pocket, a crossing pattern. He throws it right out in front of the number where it has to be thrown so he doesn't have to lose stride. He makes the catch on the run and picks up another nice gain on the play. Great job on the part of Millen.
Ray Horton eventually brings him down, but it's a first down for the Falcons as they threaten from the 15 of the Cowboys. Millen will throw again, and that's nearly picked off by Holt, who read it beautifully.
In a game like this one, that's the kind of a play you have to make. Colt should have intercepted that ball. It was right in his hands. Right in his hands. It should have been an interception. A game like this one, he's got to make that kind of a play. Never came close to making the catch. Hit his hands and bounced right off, and bounced right out of bounds. Here he is. Look at the way that ball bounces out in front, which means his hands were not relaxed. He didn't come back and give anything with the ball. It's just like hitting the wall that bounced right out of bounds.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 15. Direct snap again to Rozier. To the 4 and a first down for the Falcons.
Houston Oiler play. They used to use that. A direct snap to Rozier. They did that quite a bit at Houston. Watch the ball now. Goes right to Rozier. Does a good job of running. Breaks to the outside. Uses a straight arm. Changes the ball. And takes the ball right on down to about the 1-2 yard line. Short snap right to the running back. Look at the good job of running he does. And look how he shifts the ball. So he's got a straight arm available to make extra yardage on the play.
And the best threat of this game for either team with 41 seconds remaining before halftime. Timeout's been called, and the Falcons will have it 1st and 10. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line of the Cowboys. Well, coming up at halftime, Greg and Terry will have all the scores, the highlights, the latest playoff information from around the NFL. Jimmy Johnson wants to be there, but the Falcons will not go easily, despite their 4-11 record. 1st and goal from the 3.
defensive backs that time, and Millen surprised me. I didn't realize he could run that well, although he did say that he ran a 4.7 in college. Here he is now, going to the right. Now, whoop, comes back here to the left. He escapes. Jeff Coate is in hot pursuit, 77, and he sticks his head in there and tries to penetrate the goal line.
And that's his fiancée, Lisa Coles, who directs the Falcon cheerleaders here. He met her in Los Angeles. She was one of the cheerleaders out there, so she's gone from the embraceable Hughes to the embraceable Hugh, as she is the fiancée of Hugh Millen, who very nearly scored.
He surprised me with that run. I didn't really think that he could escape and move that well, but he did say, as I mentioned earlier, that he did run a 4.7 in college.
Probably faster than that when he's being chased. He came into the game with 5 carries for a loss of 9 yards. 2 tight ends.
They got an advantage to the right side, right of center. Nope.
Second and goal from the 1, and it's in for the touchdown, Tracy Johnson. Tracy Johnson, another former Houston Oiler that Jerry Glanville brought with him here to Atlanta.
There he is. You see Mike Ken, look at number 78, get a good push. And also Houston Hoover, number 69, all of whom got a good push. And he got it in there across the plane and got the touchdown.
Greg Davis, 38 out of 38 in the extra point category. And the Falcons have the first points of this game with 24 seconds remaining in the second quarter. They like it here, and they no doubt like it down in New Orleans as well, as the Falcons lead it 7-0. So they were protecting Millen a lot better during that drive.
Well, I think the important thing,
as you look at some of the Falcons, people who are rooting for the Falcons, you got Tommy Barnhart down there, John Forcade, and Morton Anderson.
Yeah, they're all full of happiness, no question about that. But I think what happened, and I think they're going to learn something from that. I think they opened the formation. They're playing with 4 wide receivers, a triple wing. They're reducing the defense, and as a result, they're creating more opportunities to run the ball and also to throw the ball. I think the Cowboys have to do some of that in the second half. They have proven that they can't penetrate the defense of the Falcons the way they're playing right now. They have to go to a 4 wide receiver or a slot or do something to open it up so they can do some business up the field.
13 play drives, 79 yards, 3:21 off the clock. Tracy Johnson plunges over on a 1-yard touchdown dive, and the Falcons lead it 7-0. Greg Davis to kick it away. Into the end zone and through for the touchback. So the Cowboys with timeouts at their disposal, but only 24 seconds remaining before halftime.
You know, Davis, on kickoffs, he might be the most improved kickoff man in the National Football League this year. He has 21 touchbacks this year, 3rd best in the National Football League. Last year, Davis only had 5 touchbacks. Great improvement.
So the Cowboys with all 3 timeouts at their disposal, but again, just 24 seconds left. Emmett Smith along with Tommy Agee in the backfield for Laufenberg. And now finds himself trailing. Under the lay to Smith, and he's beyond the 25, up close to the 26-yard line. Scott Case in on the stop. Time is winding down in less than 10 seconds. And the Cowboys will apparently let this half run out. With 3 timeouts still on the board. So with 30 minutes of football still to be played. The Cowboys find themselves trailing the Falcons 7-0 at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Well, those of you who have been watching football between the Giants in New England and the Cowboys and the Falcons, we welcome you back to our studio in New York, everyone. Along with Terry Bradshaw, I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's run down the scores and highlights for you. Beginning with the game at Fulton County Stadium, which the Cowboys need to get into the playoffs today. They would like to go in on a winning note, but the Falcons lead it by a score of 7-0 at halftime. And, of course, all of the pressure is on Babe Laufenberg, and a lot of pressure from the blitz.
Well, all day long, every time the Cowboys have gone to the pass, what the Falcons have done is blitz Laufenberg, and right now the offensive linemen are totally confused, and this is something the Falcons will continue to do, Greg, until Laufenberg picks it up.
Tracy Johnson, a 1-yard touchdown run for the only score, and take a look at how it is at Champions in New Orleans. Tommy Barnhart, John Forcade, and Morton Anderson looking on. The biggest Falcons fans in the world right about now, aren't they? It is 7-0 in favor of the Falcons at halftime. They're also at halftime at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The Bengals needing a win today to make the playoffs. They lead the Cleveland Browns by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. As they approach halftime, it is now halftime in Miami. The Dolphins leading the Colts 16-14. Jeff George has thrown a couple of touchdown passes, including a 63-yarder to Jesse Hester, but the Colts trailed by 2. Halftime at RFK Stadium in Washington, the Redskin defense has shut the Bills down while Chip Lohmiller has kicked 3 field goals. Buffalo's turned the ball over twice, 9-0 Redskins. Halftime at New England, the game some of you are watching here on CBS, and the Giants are leading the Patriots by a score of 13-10. Now, the Giants drove 60 yards in 10 plays, and Jeff Hostetler finds Dave Meggett out of the backfield for 17 yards and a touchdown, and that made it 7-0 Giants, but back came the Patriots with a long bomb from Tommy Hudson.
All this is simple. 3 defensive backs covering 2 wide receivers, and the safety elects to double the slot. Fryer gets by the corner, says, I think I have help. He didn't have any help over top. Fryer gets by him. Easy touchdown.
Barr's field goal as time wound down in the first half has the Giants on top by 3. And San Francisco at Minnesota as they approach halftime. 1 minute to play in the half. The Vikings leading the 49ers by a score of 10-0. The game's lone touchdown from Herschel Walker.
Well, all you got to do is get Herschel outside, let him square up his shoulders, and then he's extremely hard to bring down, running over everyone.
Seems to me someone even predicted that the 49ers could lose to the Vikings today.
Who could that be, Greg?
We'll remind you, this is a doubleheader day of NFL action here on CBS. Coming up in our late games, some of you will see the Green Bay Packers play the Denver Broncos. Most will see the Detroit Lions play the Seattle Seahawks. And Seattle remains alive for the final AFC wild card. With more on this matchup, we go to Vern Lundquist in the Emerald City.
The Seattle Seahawks can qualify as the 3rd AFC wildcard team, but first a couple of things have to happen. They must beat the guys who will wear these uniforms, the Detroit Lions, and then sit back and hope that Pittsburgh defeats Houston tonight. So how does Chuck Knox approach this game?
Well, our posture is we have to have a fine focus on the things that we have control over. The only thing we have control over is an opportunity against the Detroit Lions. And certainly Barry Sanders will be a guy that we have to be concerned about. I think he's the best running back in the National Football League at this point.
And how concerned are the Seahawks about Barry Sanders? Well, every NFL team has a locker room bulletin board. In Seattle's, every item concerns Barry Sanders.
I'm able to see and use my peripheral vision, where a lot of guys are who tend to be more of what they call a straight-ahead runner, who has his focus on just one set target. And I think I'm looking more a lot of times to make people miss and maybe the easy way out or to try to run around someone. So I'm trying to just utilize my options instead of just picking one set thing and sticking with that.
Barry Sanders is going for the NFL rushing title this afternoon. Last night, John Madden, who joins me for the broadcast, said Sanders is the best running back he's never seen in person. He gets his first chance today. Now let's go back to New York.
All right, Vern, and Seattle can also clinch a wild card if the Seahawks win and Cleveland upsets Cincinnati. And the NFL Today on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
I mean, an invisible man?
He can't be stopped. Has the Flash finally met his match? Thursday.
The undying bonds of friendship.
It ain't dying I'm talking about. It's living.
The enduring power of love.
I knew I'd never be able to keep him at home.
Sacrificed for the American dream.
They say you're a man of vision.
Hell of a vision. America returns to Lonesome Dove, January 20th on CBS.
This is CBS.
Due to excess inventory, GMC Truck is holding a model closeout. This is a limited-time program to reduce inventory levels on 1990 Sierra pickup trucks only. The program includes $500 cash back or a competitive finance rate for qualified buyers, plus a special cash value incentive direct to dealers. Come in today and make your best deal on a 1990 Sierra pickup while supplies last. GMC Truck, it's not just a truck anymore. It's quality on the road.
You're on Sports Talk.
Lou, honey, I know you're listening. So listen to this. Tonight's my birthday, and for once I'd like to see you in a jacket that doesn't have a zipper in front and pants that do. I want a cake that isn't a football, and how about a real present with lace, not laces? And Louis, there better not be a big screen TV within 10 blocks of where we're having dinner.
Whoa, Lou, where are you going to find all that stuff?
The Protector, the professional new vehicle protection, and more. And now, the Pro Phone, with the crystal clarity of Cellular One service. Go with the Pro, the Protector. Available only at better new car dealers.
Celebrate the new year with Channel 2. All-night party, Monday night at 11:30.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys go to the playoffs with a victory here today, but at halftime they trailed the Falcons because of Tracy Johnson's one-yard touchdown run. We'll be back right after this.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
America, come see what we're made of.
I bought the Dodge. Just feels like quality.
Get total savings up to $3,400 on Dodge Dakota.
Two brave men sworn to save these refugees.
I will get you out of here.
The State Department cannot do that.
Inspired by the events of a heroic rescue.
I just want my husband back.
Gerald McCraney, Michael Gross.
The plane will be here.
Vestige of Honor, tonight. Now it's time for a hero.
Trouble breaks out, people still turn to you.
It's time for Lee Horsley, a hero for the 90s. Guns of Paradise, Friday.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers, where you get the advantage. Allstate, for your home, auto, life, and business insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
Well, Jimmy Johnson has said we can't rely on the Rams tomorrow night against the Saints to do our job for us. We've got to do it on the field here in Atlanta today. And at halftime, they trail 7-0.
Yeah, it really does. It looks tough because they haven't really generated anything offensively. I think in the second half, they have to reduce their formations. They've got to play, and we'll see the touchdown here with Tracy Johnson, 43, coming over the left side, and a good push by Mike Ken. Hoover and also Jamie Dukes, the center. They get a good push, and he goes in there for the touchdown.
And it was Hugh Millen's scramble that set that up with the run inside the one. That was our only touchdown. Leslie Visser's been down on the sideline and keeping track of the Dallas Cowboys. Leslie?
Jim and Hank, the mood of the Cowboys as they came up the tunnel was kind of angry and determined. They were yelling, "We're only down by 7 points. We've been down worse than that before this year." Of course, they trailed to both Tampa and New Orleans by 10, came back to win. Troy Aikman told me that in the locker room, Jimmy Johnson said what Hank had mentioned, that it's not the defense. He's pleased with the way the defense has been playing, but there have been too many breakdowns on offense, and they have to give the Babe more time. Jim?
Thank you, Leslie. And Babe hasn't gotten a lot of time or much success. You see that the Cowboys have done virtually nothing with just 3 first downs in this first half. Total offense reflects it as well. Just 82 for the Falcons, 62 for Dallas. Willis will kick it away. Laufenberg was just 4 out of 10 for 45 yards and an interception in the first half.
I still think, Jim, we started to touch on it at halftime, but they still have to open up the formations. They have to try to play with 3 wide receivers or 4 and see what they get up front. If they get 5 on 5, then they're going to get a chance to run the ball. If they get 6 on 5 or 7 on 5, then they can throw the ball. At least the receivers can get out quickly and they have a chance to make big plays. Right now, they got to throw away the sledgehammer. They've been playing sledgehammer football. They can't win this game with sledgehammer football in the second half.
Saxon will try to kick the ball away from Deion Sanders. He'll be trying to kick it around the 20-yard line to the sideline.
And Ken Willis is the only kicker in the National Football League that hasn't kicked a touchback all year long.
And doesn't figure to here. He's going to pop it up. And it'll be taken by Jones. Keith Jones is going to go.
Look at this. The great thing about it, look, there's a missed tackle. There's another 2 missed tackles. Another missed tackle. The kicker is trying to avoid trying to make the tackle. And he goes all the way in for the touchdown. The great thing about the run, he was very decisive, knew exactly where he was going to go, and went all the way in there for the touchdown.
Last Falcon to return a kickoff for a touchdown, Sylvester Stamps in 1987. Greg Davis makes it 14-0, and this was not the way that Jimmy Johnson envisioned the second half beginning.
The Cadillac Sedan DeVille. The Chrysler Fifth Avenue. It's got a driver's side airbag, air conditioning, a powerful engine, available wire wheel covers, room for 6, dual liquor beers.
As you can see, these 2 cars offer the same kind of luxury. More or less. Chrysler Fifth Avenue.
Now get cashback savings with Chrysler's Golden Advantage.
Walk into a television showroom, and someone will probably try to sell you a set with a foreign name on it. Before you see their choice, ask to see yours. Ask to see the first TVs that combine digital video and audio, with a performance to back it up. Ask for picture-in-picture with triple flashback. Ask for a single remote that can learn to run everything. Ask to see a Zenith. For true innovation in television, quality never looked more like a Zenith.
If your doctor had AIDS, would you want to know? This doctor never told his patients, but he will tell. 48 hours, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Cowboy special teams coach Joe Alvazano told us down on the field before the game, if we kick the ball to Deion Sanders, we've made a mistake. The mistake was kicking it to Keith Jones.
Well, the mistake was missing tackles. That's the basic fundamental principle involved in what happened here. There are 4 or 5 missed tackles and good running, very good running on the part of the ball carrier, but basically the missed tackles were instrumental in why he was able to run it all the way back for the touchdown.
Derek Shepard is nailed around the 22. Falcons say they have a loose football. No signal as yet from any of the officials. Let's take a look and see if we can see if a fumble actually did occur.
You got to remove some of those bodies. No, evidently it wasn't. Dallas ball.
Well, the ball did come loose, but the Cowboys were able to cover it.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think it did squeeze out of there. And usually the bigger guy in the bottom of that pile usually winds up with the ball. That time it was squeezed out of there, but Dallas recovered.
Well, here comes Babe Laufenberg, and now he trails 14-0. The Cowboys haven't made a first down since 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Well, let's see if they open up the formation and see if they try to do a little business that way.
A glum Jimmy Johnson may be a fan of football on Monday night after this one. These Cowboys are down. Agee has the ball come from his grasp, incomplete. Ken Tippins, the linebacker out of Middle Tennessee State, on the coverage. Well, if you're wondering what's behind Babe Laufenberg, it's Cliff Stout, and that's it.
Well, I don't think you can blame the quarterback for anything that's happened so far. The pass protection hasn't been good. He's got to have security. He's got to be able to throw the football, and I think they got to reduce those formations. Now they're out wide.
Second and 10 from the 23 for Dallas.
Here they come again. Whoop.
Laufenberg incomplete. Overthrowing his tight end, Jay Novacek. Now here's a guy that had a 23.
Here they come again.
Laufenberg is sandwiched, but he does collect his own fumble at the 27-yard line.
Boy, how that ball rolled into his belly like it did while he was lying on the ground is unbelievable. Look at his feet coming through there. He's looking for a place to go. It's like going through a revolving door. There's no chance.
Green was in there. Mike Gann was in there.
And I think he's got to move the pocket some too. He can't continue to throw from the same position throughout the second half.
Saxon's been busy, and this is another poor effort. Sanders fields it at his own 30-yard line, downed immediately. A 42-yard punt with a lot of roll for Saxon. A 2-yard Deion Sanders return. Falcon ball when we come back.
No one can guarantee you a perfect world. A world where the unexpected never intrudes. But some of us know we'll be taken care of quickly and compassionately. In an imperfect world, you're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of four-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eco gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
Don't touch anything. This is a science.
Ooh, salmon.
Salmon Douglas. Do we get a little wine with this?
Oh, that's my department.
Oh, this is great, Carol. What is it?
Sauvignon Blanc.
It's good with salmon.
Who makes it? Gallo.
They're really something lately.
I like this.
Sauvignon Blanc. Whoa, aren't you going to wait for the salmon? We are.
Ernest and Julio Gallo present their 1988 Sauvignon Blanc. It will change the way you think about Gallo.
When you're looking for mystery, you always start at the scene of the crime. Premieres Wednesday, January 23rd on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
Well, this one figures to be a very even and hotly contested game. We're looking forward to it. USC against Michigan State. That's the John Hancock Bowl right here on CBS tomorrow at 2:30. And don't forget the Mobile Cotton Bowl. That'll be New Year's Day, and a big one it'll be. Texas against Miami. Texas with just that one loss to Colorado, and Miami the 2 to BYU and Notre Dame. National championship implications in that one. Rozier banging straight ahead, and he could go! Colts chasing him. Knocks him out of bounds at the 1.
And that's the only thing he could do on that play. Only thing. They'll give him a push to hope to get him out of bounds. There's the big hole. Rozier going all the way. It looks like he switches the ball so he can get a straight arm on Holt. But Holt very wisely pushes him just enough to knock him out of bounds before he went in the end zone for the touchdown. Just knocked out of bounds and about to 1. Chris Hinton, number 71, really made a great block on the run.
Mike Rozier spits out a little of the mud and the goo from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after a 67-yard ramble. And things continue to deteriorate for Jimmy Johnson.
He's got to be in shock after those last 2 plays.
Well, the half began badly with a 76-yard kickoff return by Keith Jones. Now he's seen Rozier ramble 67 yards, and the ball is just outside the 1. That's the longest run from scrimmage in Atlanta Falcon history. What an acquisition that man was for $100 off waivers.
It's a great compliment to Jerry Glanville. He knew exactly the kind of a player he is.
Here's Johnson who gets the call. Tracy Johnson, who scored the only touchdown of the first half, but he's dropped for a loss of about 2.
It'd be a miracle if they can come out of here with just 3.
Boy, with the Cowboys showing so little offense here, if they're down 21-0, they are in dire shape.
Yeah, they're in serious trouble. Serious trouble.
That 67-yard run by Rozier, the longest run against the Cowboy defense this season. It broke wide open for him. 2nd and goal from the 3. Jones up, over, but short. Danny Noonan stuffs it.
Yeah, he tried to jump over the pile, but gets pushed back. Howard, 99, gets good penetration. They're all up there. Look at that hit. Stubbs is underneath it all, makes the tackle. But they're all in there trying to keep him from getting into the end zone. They stopped him. Here comes Rozier back in the contest.
Well, he's not going to get back in.
No.
They're going to come up to the line of scrimmage too quickly. 3rd and goal from the 2. Jones again diving, not getting there. So the Cowboys have stiffened. You go for it here, Hank?
Yeah, I'd go for it. I'd go for it. I sure would if I were Atlanta. I'd try to get another 7.
And now Rozier is back in the game.
Knowing Jerry Glanville like I do, I'm sure that he'll go for it.
Well, with Rozier coming in, all eyes will be on him, won't they?
I would think so.
He's number 30 with the mud and the lime on his back from that long run. 4th and goal from the 1. Rozier, no.
Didn't make it.
Jerry Jones likes it. Jimmy Johnson likes it. Jerry Glanville doesn't, and so Mike Rozier shares the same sentiments. Hamill and Lockhart stopped him.
Great goal lines. Now here we have to be aware and be anxious to see how this goal line stand stimulates or motivates this Dallas Cowboy team, whether this will bring them back to life and whether they'll get something going in the second half.
Emmett Smith is the tailback in the eye. And he is dropped for the safety, Tim Green.
Look at it. Look at the penetration by Tim Green, 99, and no chance whatsoever. Look at Green.
The evolution of the minivan is now complete.
Now get cashback savings.
Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Number 4, Miami. Number 3, Texas. 2 powers gunning for the national championship, the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic. Happy New Year.
It's been a disastrous third quarter for Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys, giving up 9 unanswered points. And he's looking for answers.
Well, the call dial a play.
Saxon's free kick is taken in at his own 18 by Sanders. Burrowing his way up to the 32. Here's another look at that safety, Hank.
Yeah, we'll see Timmy Green, 99. Look at on the right side of your screen. Look at Green slip in the gap. Evidently, the tackle of the tight end missed the block on him. He was able to get through the gap and penetrate into the offensive backfield and make the play for the safety. A great play by Tim Green, number 99, played his collegiate football at Syracuse.
Well, maybe it didn't take a valedictorian to figure out that Emmitt Smith was going to get the football in that situation, but that's what Green was at Syracuse. He diagnosed it beautifully, didn't he?
Yeah, he surely did. He executed beautifully. That's what he did. He got off that block. I think somebody had a piece of him. I couldn't tell who it was, but he got the penetration and slid right in through there for the safety.
He's a guy who told us a couple of weeks ago his career's been rejuvenated by Jerry Glanville.
Well, it's been rejuvenated a great deal more by that last play.
Rozier and Jones will be the running backs for Mellon and the Falcons.
Look at this total offense, 72 yards for Dallas, Atlanta. 149.
Rising in motion. Gives to Rozier. Jeffcoat rides him down after a short gain. Cliff Stout signed this week has only practiced twice with Dallas.
Yeah, he's pacing up and down. I don't know what he could contribute after being in camp only 2 days. And again, the big thing here is not Babe. It's just a question they haven't been able to pass block for him and haven't been able to open any holes. You have to give Atlanta an awful lot of credit for the great defensive job they have done.
2nd and 9 for the Falcons from their 32. They lead it 16-0 here in the third quarter. Dillon will roll and be sacked back at the 26-yard line. Ball is loose, and the Cowboys have it.
Smith, 57. Look at this. From the backside, a tackle.
Jimmy Jones it was who tripped him up.
Yeah, but the recovery was by
The ball came loose before the runner was down. Fumble recovery, Dallas.
Did that look to you like the ball came loose before he was down?
It didn't to me, no.
I got to believe they'll look at this one again.
Yeah, I think they got to look at this one. They're looking at it, I'm sure.
Oh, no, his knee was down, I think.
It looked like the knee was down, but you couldn't tell. The player blocked the ball. You couldn't tell what happened to the ball.
It was a fumble, first down and 10, Dallas.
The ball was sticking out to the right side, and there was a player lying on the ground. I think we couldn't see the ball flop out of there, and that was a fumble.
And a break for the Cowboys, who need one desperately. First and 10 from the 25 of Atlanta. Emmitt Smith brought down immediately by Ken Tippins after a short gain. His first catch of the day for Emmitt Smith, who's seen a lot of action as a ball carrier.
Jack Johnson is hoping desperately that they call the right plays, and he kind of intercedes. And on this kind of an occasion, a lot of times we'll call up to Shula and say, give me a sweep, give me off tackle, give me a screen, give me something. Well, he suggests something, that's what they'll do.
Give me a touchdown. 2nd and 5 from the 20.
Blitz again.
Throwing it up. Incomplete in the end zone for Emmitt Smith.
That was the one thing we talked about, talking about Babe yesterday to some other people. And they said one thing about him, when he has a chance, he is not the most accurate passer in the world. Here it is, a perfect opportunity to change the scoreboard, to get 7 or get 6, and he overthrew the receiver.
He's but 5 for 14 for 55 yards and an interception. So Dallas hasn't been down here very often. They badly need to convert here. 3rd and 5 from the 20. Floats it up for Wright. It's incomplete, but there's a flag down. He was working on Bobby Butler.
All out blitz again. All out blitz. And the nice thing, see, they had an open formation that time, Jim. They had a triple wing, meaning 3 receivers on one side, a receiver on the other side. The other great thing about it is
to the hands, number 23 defense.
Butler.
5 yards, first down.
And if they're going to blitz you with that situation, at least you got one-on-ones all over the place. You got a chance to make big plays. And especially you give yourself more time when you're in the shotgun, instead of being under the quarterback with as many middle blitzes as they've had.
That's the Cowboys' first down since the first quarter. They've been able to blitz more because Butler's been more accomplished in man-to-man coverage, but he gets flagged here, and it's a first down for the Cowboys at the 15-yard line. They trail 16-0 with 8:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. Smith.
Murder. Boy, that's murder.
Tim Green again.
I tell you, this would be a good time. Look, here they are again. They got a tight end. They got the normal formation. Try to get outside. There's no place to run. Smith is carrying the ball in the wrong arm, so he can't get any help. In the event somebody does try to make a tackle, he can straight arm somebody, but in that traffic, he's got no chance. They ought to get in a full wide receiver situation and do business that way to reduce those people and get a chance for a big play.
Smith has rushed 14 times for just 21 yards.
Well, they're still in a tight end situation.
2nd and 10 from the 15. Underthrowing Smith, incomplete.
Safety blitz again. Safety blitz. And again, now they're so gun shy that they're concerned about getting rid of the football because they haven't been able to pass block it. And he throws the ball before he's actually got a chance. Look at, he's falling away, nothing on the ball, and hits the ground. That's the only thing he can hit on that kind of a pattern.
Boy, both Elbert Shelley and Jesse Tuggle were coming through virtually untouched.
That's why you got to move the pocket. You got to move the pocket to get away from an inside rush. That reduces it completely.
So it's 3rd and 10 from the 15. Cowboys just 1 out of 8 on 3rd down.
5 defensive backs. Here they come again.
Incomplete at the goal line. Kelvin Martin, the intended receiver, was at the 5. And Laufenberg was buried back at the 29.
Safety blitz again. Safety blitz. Scott Case, number 25, coming from the outside. They look like they're playing.
Coming into this game, Ken Willis was the most accurate kicker in the NFL inside the 50 with 18 out of 19. Today he's missed from 34 and 33.
I mentioned early in the game that he didn't kick the ball well in practice. He was psyched out by the mud and the unfavorable conditions. Instead of taking a positive approach and just worried about kicking the ball, he worried about everything else, and in the process this afternoon, he missed another field goal. It's really tough for this young kicker.
Steve Broussard checks in for the first time today and will get the call. And the number 1 draft choice fights his way beyond the 25 and up close to the 27. Broussard's that first-round pick out of Washington State who's been hampered by injuries. Jerry Glanville would like to see him fight through those injuries and spend more time on the practice field and on the field on Sundays.
He still realizes what a fine back he is, and you know, there's so much you can do. If you got a bad knee, you got a bad knee. Look at all the room on the right side.
2nd and 3. Oh, his Broussard stood up and driven backward by Vincent Smith. Here's a kid who's had a big day in relief.
I'm telling you, he's done a remarkable job under the circumstances. They were very concerned about that position going into the game. Watch the hit. That's a big league hit. That's a Hall of Fame hit.
He's playing for Ken Norton, who had surgery on a knee damaged last week against the Eagles.
Smith has had 6 tackles, solo tackles, so far in this contest.
Rozier's back in on 3rd and 3 from the 27. Rising in motion. Rozier with the handoff, and he's loose again. Up to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18. He's over 100.
Somebody missed. Somebody missed. They got penetration. Let's see who got in there and missed it. Oh, he's way outside. 45. Hendricks. Hendrick came through there, but way wide. And he went right inside of him with a corner blitz.
James Washington eventually brought him down after that 18-yard gain. 12 carries for 113 yards for Rozier. Rising in motion.
Look at all the room passing-wise on the right side.
They're going to run it again with Rozier, and again he's going to pick up substantial yardage into Cowboy territory. We're in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, and it's been a big 3rd quarter for the Atlanta Falcons. They lead it over the Cowboys 16-0. The Cowboys need the win to be in the playoffs. If not, they must rely on the Rams tomorrow night in the Superdome against the Saints.
In rushing yards, Dallas 30 yards rushing, and Atlanta 129.
Tracy Johnson's in at fullback. Cowboys blitz. Rozier drops the ball, but the Falcons retain possession. Sean Collins comes away with it.
Safety blitz that time, too. And the thing that happens when you blitz linebackers and safeties, if you get through the crack, boy, it's a bye-bye blues. You got a great chance to go all the way because there's no pursuit.
But the Cowboys are getting desperate, aren't they?
Well, look at the comparison between Smith and Rozier. 21 yards, 1.5 for Smith. Rozier, 127, 9.1. That's hard to do in a pregame warm-up, get that kind of yardage.
1st and 10 from the 39. Give it off to Johnson, plowing straight ahead for a couple. Rozier told us yesterday, make sure that you thank Mike Holloway for me on the broadcast tomorrow.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Holloway, of course, the general manager at Houston. Jerry Glanville never got along with him there, neither did Rozier. And what a great acquisition Rozier was.
Well, that's the nice thing about having someone like Rozier, Jerry Glanville. He knew what he was getting. He knew what a big heart he had, what a great competitor he was, and he knew that he would be a great influence on this football team from a leadership standpoint.
He has been that. 2nd and 7 from the 36. Broussard. He runs into a pile after a short gain.
Well, they're going to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can. Talking about Atlanta. And especially so the way they're moving the football.
Well, time is running out for the Cowboys. 2:52 to play here in the third quarter. They're down 16-0. They've had virtually no offense. They must win here today to make the playoffs on their own. If not, they must rely on the kindness of strangers in New Orleans. Because that's where the Los Angeles Rams will be playing tomorrow night in the Superdome against the Saints.
I'm sure all the fans in New Orleans are full of happiness. A lot of smiles at this stage of the game.
Not very often are they rooting for the Falcons in New Orleans, but they certainly are today. 3rd and 3 from the 33. Rozier. Tripped up at the 29. Robert Williams on the tackle.
Here he gets another short snap again. No, he doesn't. It's a draw. Quarterback gets it and gives it to Rozier. But there again, see, look how well he switches the ball and how well he uses a straight arm to get added yardage on the play.
You love that, don't you? And he's really done it well today.
Well, that's right. And I think young players around the country who are watching professional football, they see a back run that way. They learn that's what their coaches tell them to do, and yet so many backs in the National Football League will run to their left with the ball in the right arm or run to the right with the ball in their left arm. It's ridiculous. But he's a great example of how you should carry the ball.
And he has really been toting the leather today. 67-yard run earlier in the third quarter, one of the big plays of this game. And also going over 100 yards on the ground. Well, it's going to be 4th down, and they're going to try again. They've made it once, they've failed once. Rozier up, over, and it looks like he has it. He needed about a yard.
Watch him now from the deep I formation. Now look him leap over the top. He comes down head first. He didn't really make any progress as he got up in the air. He went straight down. On a nosedive, it's going to be interesting to see how they mark the ball. It's going to be close.
They'll bring the sticks in from the near sideline.
Concerned by Jimmy Johnson.
And he picks it up. Mike Rozier, the main man for the Falcons. As Jimmy Johnson grits his teeth once more. And Jerry Glanville says, we just pulled off another. He would like to close this season with a 2-game winning streak and build some momentum for next year.
Well, the one thing about this team, he has to be happy with the way his team played all year long from an effort standpoint. They were only out of 1 game, and that was the first Ram game.
11th play in this drive for the Falcons as they eat up the clock and give it to Broussard on the ground. He's up to about the 25-yard line.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line of the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Ken, Hoover, Dukes, Fraley, Hinton. Boy, they've all. And John Scully came in there and made a good block earlier in the game. But that offensive line is really flying off the ball. They're making some sparks fly up front. That's where it all starts.
And they're grinding it out right now and taking time off the clock. Just about a minute.
He's supposed to do, but, you know, he just doesn't have the speed to compete with the other people on his squad. Look at Minnesota cutting up the 49ers, 10-0.
And here the Falcons are doing the same to the Cowboys.
And Washington is chopping up Buffalo, too. Of course, Buffalo playing with a lot of guys missing.
There's that snap to Rozier once more. And he battles his way inside the 20, close to a first down. It appears he'd be a bit short, but we'll see. Jimmy Jones and James Washington combine on the stop.
Bates blitzing on the play, number 40 on that last play.
And they're going to measure. Given the Falcons' success on fourth down on this drive and throughout the day, they'd probably go for it anyway.
You know, if he went for it down the other occasions, he'd do it again, but they make it. They don't have to worry about it. New point.
They wind the clock. And the third quarter is history. That's the end of the third quarter with our score. The Atlanta Falcons 16, the Dallas Cowboys nothing.
USC takes on Michigan State, the John Hancock Bowl, New Year's Eve day.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of four-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eagle gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
This is a 2-hour ride.
So?
So what if my diarrhea comes back?
Oh, relax. You took these Imodium AD caplets.
Just once. I always took the pink stuff 2 or 3 times.
Well, these are much better.
Imodium AD caplets are so effective, they often work in one dose, instead of dose after dose after dose, like the pink stuff.
Leaving.
Already?
Imodium AD caplets can make your first attack of diarrhea your last.
Well, do the Cowboys still believe in Babe? They've got 15 minutes left. They haven't put a point on the board yet.
Well, I think what has to happen, I think Jimmy Johnson has been around long enough. He has to tell his squad, listen, we're 16 points down. That doesn't mean we're 16 plays out of this game. We're only 2.5 plays. 2 touchdowns and a field goal, we win the game. That's what he has to sell his team. And they got to come out in the second half and throw away the high-button shoe offense and start doing something with open formations, try to get some yardage going up and down that field.
But first, they've got to get their hands back on the football. And they've had a hard time doing that in the third quarter as this drive continues.
Yeah, they're playing keep away and doing a good job of it.
First play of quarter number 4. Falcons leading 16-0. The Cowboys, who had it in their own hands just 2 weeks ago, may now be taking out memberships in the Los Angeles Rams fan club. And a former Ram, Hugh Millen, has led the Falcons to this 16-0 lead, along with a lot of help, particularly from that guy, Mike Rozier.
And the nice thing about what the Falcons are doing, they're playing with a tight end and 2 receivers on the outside. So they have the receiving aspect of it available if they want to throw it, and then they have the tight end along with the 5 linemen in there to also do a good job of running like they're doing right now.
In the third quarter, the Falcons ran the ball 20 times, and once they were sacked trying to pass. And you can see how time-consuming this drive has been for the Falcons.
And after looking at those stats, I'll go way out the limb and say they will continue to run.
It's a very thick wind at the moment as Mike Rozier picks up another first down.
That's what I mentioned a moment ago. That time they played with 4 wide receivers. The formation was reduced, the defense was spread out, and as a result, you got running room. That's what the Cowboys have to do. Here it is. Look at Rozier on the sprint draw. Goes through that big hole and picks up another big gain on the play. But see what that does. It takes away, you can't overshift or do anything because the tight end is not in there. You got to reduce the formation defensively, and you got a lot of running room. And if they gang up with a run, then you got a chance to throw the ball outside to the uncovered receivers.
14-yard pickup. Rozier is now up to 151 yards on the day. And we've got much of the fourth quarter still to be played. Keith Jones inside the 5. Jimmy Jones on the tackle. Jerry Jones on the sideline, feeling worse by the moment. And you can just see this Cowboy defense is getting worn down.
Oh, they really are. They've been on the field an awful long time, and it's Jerry Jones. Talked to him before the game. He was very enthusiastic and very involved and hoping for the best here this afternoon. It hasn't worked out that way so far.
Falcons have held the ball over 10 minutes in this drive. 2nd and goal from the 5. Rozier to about the 3.
See, that time they had a double wing formation again, 4 wide receivers, and they only had 5 on 5. That's a perfect time to run, which they did. They slipped. The left tackle slipped off the block that time and got in there, made the tackle. But that's the kind of running you ought to do in this situation.
Mike Rozier has set a new career high for himself of 153 yards, as you can see on the 20 carries. And as he was telling us yesterday, boy, wouldn't they like to have me back in Houston now?
Well, he'd be looking for the fire department after this, get it resuscitated.
He's been busy. Thomas in motion. Rozier bangs his way down close to the 1.
Well, there you go. That was a trap from the same 4 receiver setup. Had some running room.
Well, it's 4th down, and now it looks like the Falcons will kick. Millen's coming to the sideline.
They have to kick, and now if they get 3, it'll be not 2.5 plays, but there'll be 3 plays to get back in this contest.
Greg Davis comes on. And this will be a very short one.
And he's made 18 out of his last 19 field goal attempts inside the 40.
It'll be just a 19-yard attempt. But the Falcons blocked one of those last week by the Rams from the same distance. Falcons take a delay of game penalty, so this will make it a longer field goal. 24.
We talked about the fact that Peach Bowl was played here yesterday, and they chopped up the field quite a bit, but the field today looks like a great big peach pie.
And some of its contents oozing out
all over the place.
And we mentioned earlier that Greg Davis, who's been in the league for 4 years, says this is the worst he's ever seen at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. They played a rugby game on it before the game. That helped it a lot.
Well, they want to make sure it was going to be bad.
23 yards officially on this field goal attempt by Davis. 3 more nails in the Cowboy coffin. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
We have so much to celebrate. Corbel Champagne.
For a limited time, your Ford dealer is offering the lowest rate ever on the all-new 1991 Ford Escort. Not 12, not 9, not even 6%. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 48 months on Escort.
And we're so sure it's the best small car that we'll give you $100 if you test drive an Escort and buy any of its competition. But with low 1.9 financing for 48 months, the only place you'll have to drive is to your local Ford dealer today.
That's the lowest rate ever on the all-new Ford Escort.
Now's the time for great values from Jewel. Looking for a snack? How about Doritos? Choose from assorted varieties for just $1.99 a bag. Wake up to Hills Brothers Coffee. A 39-ounce can is $3.99 with coupon. And choose Minute Maid chilled or frozen juices and save 25% on all varieties. For the timeliest values.
Channel 2 presents today's top hit from Judge Walker and the People's Court, weekdays at 4.
Jimmy Johnson seeing his defense being dominated on the ground by the Falcons. 3 more points on the scoreboard, and it's 19-0 Atlanta. Look at that drive. Took 13:08 off the clock. James Dixon to the 21. And Babe Laufenberg gets the call once more, and you can see by his jersey today that he spent a lot of time on his back. Hasn't been sacked a whole lot, but he has really been hurried, and his numbers reflect it. Laufenberg this half, 1 out of 6 for 5 yards.
And it all goes back to that pass protection. He hasn't had any pass protection here this afternoon at all. Every time he went back in the pocket, it was like throwing a hand grenade. Pull the pin and fall back.
Usually with about 5 black shirts on your face. Falcons only rush 4 this time. And Michael Irvin makes a leaping reception at the 37-yard line. That's his first catch of the day.
That's what they have to do. They play with 4 wide receivers there finally. And that's their only salvation.
16-yard pickup. Irvin's shaken up. Well, Scott Case really likes to punish people, doesn't he? And he does a lot.
But I'm going to tell you something. Irvin made a great catch there. He caught it up high in his hands. No help whatsoever. He's wide open for a good shot, and he got it.
You think Irvin didn't get his bell rung? He just tried to come off the field to the Falcon bench.
Oh, he took a shot. No question about it. If this was a fight, he'd have gone to the wrong corner.
He's looking for a standing 8 count about now. He told us yesterday he was going to get physical with Dion. Dion wasn't. Bengals lose to Cleveland. Right now they're all tied up 14-14 in the 4th quarter. Or if Pittsburgh beats Houston at Houston later tonight. Some of you will also see Green Bay at Denver. You can see the fight the Bengals are in with the Browns. Washington getting ready for the playoffs. Philadelphia will have the home field advantage after their win yesterday. 2nd and 10. Laufenberg again, and again it's Calvin Martin.
By the time they had 7 defensive back and blitz Sanders on the outside.
Cowboys will come with their 2-minute offense with 9 minutes remaining. Such are the dire straits they're in. 19-0 they trail.
Here they come again. Somebody's got to be open.
It's Deion Sanders. Look out! Look out! So long!
He caught that ball like he had a baseball glove on it, on his hand. Look at that one-handed catch. He's got a glove, but not a baseball glove. Beautiful interception by Deion Sanders. And look at him pick his way downfield. And he changes the scoreboard. Watch the dance now. This is fun.
Scott Case threw a great block out in front on Emmitt Smith, and Deion Sanders brings it back 61 yards. Now, we didn't quite catch that excessive demonstration in the end zone by the Falcons, but Deion and Andre Bruce and a whole bunch of others were down there, so they'll eventually be penalized for that. So the Falcons have broken it wide open here in the second half. Davis adds the extra point, and with 8:26 to play in the fourth quarter, the Falcons have taken a 26-0 lead over the Cowboys. There's a flag down back at the 5-yard line on that extra point attempt. But apparently they will not make Davis re-kick.
Disqualification. Disqualification. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Disqualification. Number 77, Atlanta. Number 45, Dallas. Both disqualified.
That's Rick Bryan of Atlanta.
And
Hendricks for the Cowboys. A concerned Jimmy Johnson looks on.
The United States government has awarded Cadillac the highest honor in American business, the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. It is the first time this award has been given to an automobile company for its quality achievements in satisfying the customer. So in a very real way, Cadillac's success is also a victory for the American consumer. Another reason why the only way to travel is Cadillac style.
Before your copier gets the best of you, get a better copier.
Watch Manny Hendricks on the inside, number 45, on your left side of the screen. There he is. He's in there with Bryant. And they're doing a little pushing and shoving, stretching the pores a little bit. Nothing much happening, but they both get thrown right out of the football game.
Hendricks is the starter at right corner for the Cowboys. Bryan has seen a lot of action as well at defensive end today. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited.
Opponents in the future of this football team under the direction and guidance of Jerry Glanville. He's really done a terrific job, as has Jimmy Johnson. But this team is the team of the future, I'll guarantee you. Both of these young teams, especially when they get Troy Aikman back.
And they both got multiple draft choices in the first round this coming spring.
I'm going to tell you another thing. Hugh Millen has done a good job here this afternoon. You don't even know he's been in the game, but he hasn't created any problems and made some big plays that help this team win this game if they're going to win it this afternoon.
And there's a look at Hugh Millen, who was making just his third NFL start here today. His second as a Falcon.
Millen has completed 8 of 13, Jim, for 68 yards.
Hasn't made the big mistake, as you said. Davis drives Dixon 3 yards deep, and he won't bring it out. This is Jim Henderson along with Hank Stram. We're in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with 8:18 to play here in the fourth quarter, and maybe on the Cowboys' playoff chances, pending what's going to occur tomorrow night in New Orleans. You look at Dallas, total ineptitude on offense. Mike Rozier has had a monstrous day. Babe Laufenberg woke up from his dream here this afternoon.
You don't think the people, our friends in New Orleans, are going to celebrate anything tonight, do you?
Doesn't take much for them to celebrate back there in any event.
No, all you have to do is whistle and walk down Bourbon Street. You got a parade.
They're probably boxing up some care packages of gumbo to send to their great friends up here in Atlanta. Offenberg under siege. Completes it up to about the 24-yard line to Kelvin Martin. Scott Case with another big hit. Case was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week for his work against the Rams in victory. The ball be spotted up at the 25-yard line where it's 2nd and 5. And it's beginning to rain. Once more. Oh, look at Case pour in on Laufenberg. When it rains, it pours on the Dallas Cowboys, and that was Scott Case coming in for the 2nd sack of this game for Atlanta. Case says that Deion Sanders is called the juice in the secondary. His teammates call him the milk, and he was in on top of Laufenberg for the sack.
Boy, what a way to spend an afternoon trying desperately to get into the playoffs in a game that you have to win.
Cowboys have been 1 out of 9 on 3rd down. Well, stranger things have happened than the team like the Rams beating the Saints.
Here they come again.
And down he goes again, back at the 7. Case once more.
And they love it. These players love this kind of football where they can be aggressive, make things happen, be on the attack. That's what they've done. That's Jerry Glanville's style, and that's the way they're playing here this afternoon.
They've really turned Case loose under the circumstances. 1 sack coming into today, 2 in the last 2 plays.
Let's take a picture of Doug Shively, who was on my staff in New Orleans, and of course has been here and has done a great job with the defensive line and linebackers of the Atlanta Falcons.
Deion calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 45-yard line. We'll be back.
There's a moment in time, maybe once in your life, when you feel that you're ready to fly.
And that time is now, with the power of fuel-injected multi-valve engines, the security of anti-lock braking systems, the agility of 4-wheel independent suspensions. This is advanced Pontiac technology for the 90s. And from now till January 7th, special factory incentives make all this Pontiac technology even more affordable.
On the Pontiac Express, we build excitement. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tots, the premium choice.
Dropping off your film is like dropping off your kids. You worry.
Bye, son. See you soon.
Relax. If you see this Kodak Color Watch seal, they'll get great development.
Thanks, Dad.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by McDonald's. You know the one, it's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. Toshiba Copiers. Before your copier gets the best of you, get a better copier. And by Tots, the premium choice.
Well, the Cowboy offense rests, but the Dallas defense hasn't rested much at all here this afternoon. They're back out on the field. Here's the way the playoffs shape up at the NFC. You can see the Cowboys needed a win here this afternoon or a New Orleans loss. Now they must bank on a New Orleans loss, it would appear, against the Rams tomorrow night. These are the people that are sitting and lying in wait for either the Saints or the Cowboys to finally get into the playoff picture. Been a long afternoon for Emmitt Smith.
Been a long afternoon for all the Cowboys. It's a tough way to go out. Of course, it's not over yet.
Andre Rison with the reception, driven out of bounds after a short gain. And he has tied a club record with that reception.
I said it wasn't over yet, meaning that the Rams still have to play the New Orleans Saints on Monday night. And New Orleans has to win to get into the playoffs, and I think everybody feels that they will win the way the Rams have played the last few times out.
Now you have to wonder, will the Rams be at all rejuvenated with Johnny Robinson re-signed?
Well, that's a question. You never know what's going to, pump up a team. You never know what's going to happen.
2nd and 6 here for the Falcons, and they'll throw the ball. And it'll be caught by Rison at about the 42-yard line. That breaks the record, and you can see how the Falcons are saluting that addition. What an addition he's been this year.
And a couple of weeks ago, he was so banged up that he couldn't practice. And he said to, while he was dressing before practice, he said to one of his teammates, "If you'll tie my shoes, I'll practice today." He couldn't bend over to tie his shoes. True story.
And that's the kind of attitude that Jerry Glanville loves. Andre Rison headed to the Pro Bowl, where he'll start along with Jerry Rice.
Rison has caught 5 balls for 49 yards. Last week, he was a decoy. He was so banged up, they just put him in the game to go from side to side. He was getting double coverage, and nobody knew that he couldn't run.
Tracy Johnson and Steve Broussard will be the running backs for the Falcons once we return to action here.
I must mention our friend Dean Kleinschmidt in New Orleans called Jerry Ray before the game and said, if you beat the Cowboys, I'll buy you dinner. We'll look for a star in the East if that happens, but at least he made...
Dean Kleinschmidt being the trainer for the New Orleans Saints. And Jerry Ray, the trainer for the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to look at this one again to see whether the catch was made by Rison. You can judge for yourself. He might have to try to set the record again. Well, they had a couple of replays here today. Boy, they had a ton of them here last week when the Falcons took on the Rams. And don't forget, straight ahead right here on CBS, you'll want to be watching Detroit and Seattle as the Seahawks still trying to get that wild card berth in the AFC. And for Detroit, they're trying to make Barry Sanders the leading rusher in the NFL. They allow the catch by Rison, and play will continue, and the clock will continue to run. It's bearing down on 5 minutes. Babe Laufenberg said in all of his travels around the NFL, he learned one thing: don't buy a house. If I were a real estate agent in Dallas, I don't think I'd be giving him a call tonight.
Well, he's over so much of the time this afternoon without any help whatsoever from the offense.
They never could find anything offensively to hang their hat on, could they?
No, it was a grab bag thing all afternoon. Nothing they did worked, and I thought they might have been able to start early, but earlier with a wide open kind of an offense. But the pass protection was just horrendous. They just never did any kind of a job at all of protecting the passer, and that's what it's all about.
Broussard again. Ball is free. Picked up by James Washington of the Cowboys. And it's Dallas's ball. Dallas will have the football when we return, but just 3:58 left on the fourth quarter clock. The Falcons are leading it 26-0. Let's take another look.
Here we see it. Broussard cutting to his right. There again, you don't know where his knee was. You couldn't tell for sure whether his knee was down or not.
That's been a problem for him this season, hasn't it? Costly fumbles.
Yes, that's right. And the worst thing about it is, there again, he's carrying the ball in the wrong arm.
So the Cowboys will have it, but not much to do offensively, and not much to work with. That's the best run of the day for Emmitt Smith. He came into this game with 903 yards on the ground, and he's locked in a battle with Johnny Johnson of the Cardinals to become the leading rusher among rookies in the NFL.
And they might be saying, let's at least salvage something out of this game. Let's see if we can get Emmitt Smith his 1,000 yards.
He's only picked up 33 on the day in 15 carries. That one went for 12. He needs 64 more yards to break 100 today.
Timeout.
Or to break 1,000 for the season, I should say. A timeout with 3:51 to play, and the Falcons lead 26-0.
AT&T, the right choice. Fran Tarkenton threw a record 342 touchdown passes in his career, but who holds the record for consecutive games with at least one touchdown pass? John Unitas of the Colts, Joe Montana of the 49ers, or Norm Van Brocklin of the Rams? Which would you choose?
Did you know it's tough getting business people to agree on what's best? Yet business people do agree. Nobody beats AT&T when it comes to long-distance service. In an independent poll where users rated their carriers, AT&T was unsurpassed in the best technology and best service categories and was voted #1 in overall satisfaction. So now that we've agreed on AT&T, it's back to business as usual. Quality, another AT&T advantage.
John Unitas compiled the pro football equivalent of Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak. If you said Unitas, you made the right choice.
When Pontiac set out to create a dramatically different minivan, they had two basic design objectives: ultra-efficient air management and just plain looking good. Transport, the Pontiac of minivans. But wait, the innovative Transport gives you yet another way to manage the flow of air. A unique built-in inflator pump that helps you meet new people and make new friends. Transport, the Pontiac of minivans.
We build excitement. Transport.
It was a tight game in the first half as the Falcons led at intermission 7-0, but they have broken it open here in the third and fourth quarters. And right now, all the Cowboys can do is look at individual honors, and Emmitt Smith has gained one of those. As you can see, he surpassed Johnny Johnson, whose season ended with the Cardinals yesterday against the Eagles.
You know, the Cowboys have only had 48 yards of offense since the first quarter. Murder.
They knew they had to run Smith a lot, but he's never been able to really break free. They haven't had many other weapons. It's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Atlanta.
Here they come again.
And Laufenberg overthrows his intended receiver, Derek Shepard, by some 10 yards. Well, if you're making the start like Laufenberg is under these conditions, the Falcons might be the worst team you could play. Wouldn't you say, the way they come after people?
Yeah, they're the same kind of a team as Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to make you throw the ball to win the game. You're not going to run well, and you've got to go into the game with the idea it's going to be feast or famine. We're going to look badly on many plays, but we got to keep throwing the ball up on top to get big plays. You ought to get 10 or 15 good opportunities. If you hit 3 or 4 of them, you got 21 or 28 points. Cowboys were not able to do that. Protection was just ridiculous.
Not too good right here either, though. Laufenberg will scramble out of it. Throw downfield. The catch is made by Martin around the 27-yard line. You know, the only big play the Cowboys made today, that goal line stand, and then on the first play from scrimmage, they give up the safety, and they've had no life since.
Yeah, that stuck a pin in the balloon. I think they were very excited about what they just did, and they will come right back and give them a safety, and then they got to kick the ball back to Atlanta, and the whole thing changed right after that. They're still blitzing, another blitz on that last play.
Tippins hits the running back Smith in the backfield. This is a guy who's had a pretty good day as well, Ken Tippins. He's had to play a lot for John Rady, who got shaken up. Well, Troy Aikman faces the prospect of surgery in the days ahead after that third-degree shoulder separation last week against the Eagles.
And I'm sure he can't believe what he's seen here this afternoon, because talking to him before the game, he was very optimistic.
Laufenberg's got Novacek wide open for the touchdown. 27-yard strike. There's that feast or famine you were talking about, Hank.
Yeah, that's the all-out blitz, see, and you got to keep throwing that ball up on top, because you're going to get some big plays. You're not going to do it taking the bus, trying to run the football. Here's the way Babe saw it. Good lead, perfectly thrown ball right over the top. Touchdown. Look at Laufenberg right about there. He threw the ball and he still got a massage in the back. And it looked like Jordan, the safety, was licked on that play. Number 40.
The extra point is up and good. And that makes it a 26-7 game. Novacek came into this game as the leading receiver in the NFC among tight ends, and yet that was his first catch of the day. They really never looked for him.
No, never had a chance. And of course, he was in tight most of the time, where he never gets a chance to get a free release from that position. The way they were playing and overloading the defense.
Coming up next here on CBS, as Jay Novacek is congratulated by Cliff Stout. A big one for the Seattle Seahawks. Still in the running for that wild card berth in the AFC, and the Lions, who've been playing well down through the stretch. And Barry Sanders. What do you think about that race between Sanders and Thurman Thomas of the Bills?
Well, they're both great backs. I think Sanders, I don't think without a doubt, I think without a doubt, I should say, is the finest back in the National Football League. He's tremendous. You talk about making the sparks fly. He does that. I think the Detroit Lions are a little bit like Atlanta, like the Atlanta team we're seeing here this afternoon. They're playing with a lot of animation, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of motivation. They're executing well, and they're doing a terrifically outstanding job. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win this afternoon.
Well, the Cowboys will obviously go for the onside kick here. With 2:35 to play, and they trail by 19. Caught immediately by Michael Haynes, the wide receiver who was in there, and he picked it up on a couple of bounces. The ball will belong to the...
Is a remarkable turnaround after only winning one game last year and winning as many as he did here this year. Why, it's a great compliment to his coaches and his players and his whole football team, and I think they have something to hang their hat on and look forward to in 1991.
Reserve Mike Pringle, a rookie out of Cal State Fullerton, gets his first carry of the day. As Danny Noonan and Tony Tolbert combine on the staff. And with all the draft choices they have ahead of them and all the Plan B acquisitions they continue to make, the Cowboys' future indeed looks very bright. We have reached the 2-minute warning here at Atlanta with our score: the Falcons 26 and the Dallas Cowboys but 7.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back. They say you get what you pay for. At McDonald's, we insist on it. For your good money, you'll find just one offering here. Good food. McDonald's, always good food, always good value.
Pontiac Grand Am. The best-selling compact in America can now be leased for only $199 a month. The 1991 Grand Am LE, driving excitement made easy, with an automatic transmission, air conditioning, stereo cassette, and no down payment. This may be the best time to experience the thrill of a 91 Grand Am for yourself. But don't wait too long. This is a limited offer, and at only $199 a month, they'll be moving fast.
Well, don't forget tonight on CBS, why would the mob hire a hitman to do away with Cousin Rose? Not just any Cousin Rose, a Mafia Don's Cousin Rose. Well, you guessed it, money. 60 Minutes tonight. Then it's Murder, She Wrote, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Vestige of Honor, starring Gerald McRaney and Michael Gross. 2 minutes remain in this one in Atlanta. sold-out crowd was on hand, but they've headed for the interstate. The Falcons continue to pound it on the ground with John Settle getting the call.
It's nice to have Maurice Spencer up here at the booth with us this afternoon, wasn't it? Did a good job of helping us with the numbers and people and the defenses and all the things he did here this afternoon. We enjoyed it very much.
Former cornerback for you with the New Orleans Saints.
You know, one thing we have to mention, too, Jim, is the fact that Jerry Glanville and his family really had a tough time this week. His wife, Brenda, was rushed to the hospital because of internal bleeding on Wednesday. She had to have some transfusions, and Jerry had to leave the field during practice, couldn't come back, gave her a blood transfusion. She's resting comfortably at home now, but she still has a long way to go, and we hope that she recovers quickly and the problem is resolved here very soon.
Settle again on the carry. In fact, Robert Lyles and Mike Rozier, a pair of former Oilers under Glanville, donated their blood, did they not?
Yes, they did. They wanted to. Whether they did or not, I don't know, very frankly, Jim, but they offered to.
And it's going to be a happy ending to the season for Jerry Glanville, it would appear, after his team broke that 7-game losing streak last week against the Rams. They have continued to play well, and it looks like win here today. Miami, a winner over the Colts as the Dolphins get ready for the playoffs. As you check out the scores around the NFL today. Fourth and 4. Settle will be stopped short by a host of Cowboys, and Dallas will have the football, but just 16 seconds remain, and now they must look to the Los Angeles Rams to provide a victory over the New Orleans Saints tomorrow night, a victory that they could not provide themselves here today over the Falcons to gain the NFC playoffs as the final wild card team. They won't run another play. And in New Orleans, where they celebrate Groundhog Day and everything else, they're celebrating for the moment in anticipation of the game with the Rams tomorrow night.
Be a hot time in New Orleans tonight.
Well, the Cowboys will come up and run another play, it would appear. 16 seconds, all that are left on the clock for Dallas and Babe Laufenberg. Gerald Johnston will get his first carry up to the 49-yard line, and that will do it. The Cowboys show no inclination to stop the clock, and the Falcons have closed this season with a victory. Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Glanville bid goodbye for another season. So for Hank Stram and Leslie Visser, this is Jim Henderson saying so long from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where our final score is the Atlanta Falcons 26 and the Dallas Cowboys.